In theory. There we go. That goes there. I said that goes there. Okay. All right, so we're going to get started here in our sixth tale, charting the paths of steel and blood. But first I have to make sure that... charting the paths of steel and blood. I'm hearing myself twice. Mute. There we go. Boop. All right, then. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to change the name on here to Torg, so. On Discord.
On Discord, you can do /Nick and then your name. And you do that, I think you have to do it in the Fleet General, if I'm not mistaken. You might be able to do it here for my SupQuit'aH.
You can also just post something in the SupQuit'aH chat, then right-click on your name above the post, and you'll see a, or actually just click on your name.
Wait.
Where is it? Where is change nickname? Oh wait, because I'm not clicking on my name. Yeah, if you left-click on your name above the post, you'll see a change nickname option.
You mean right-click?
Yeah, sure, right-click. That's what I'm saying. The other right. See,
I forgot you could do that with your mouse.
The problem is I have an ergonomic mouse.
Oh.
So, I don't really think in terms of left and right because my clickers are arranged as top one and bottom.
Oh. So.
Cool.
But it really helped.
Ooh.
Pretty much completely got rid of the wrist pain I was having from long days.
Spillsbury Bob, you are our VIP for the tour. Yay. You are special.
There we go. Thank you.
Thanks for watching so much. That's why you have all the points and why you're able to do that. Thank you. So.
Did you announce the game on the...
I should. That's what experienced streamers do. They announce when they're streaming to people. And I would have done that by now. It's not like I'm doing it right now as you're telling me about it. Because,
Have we statted out the Marauder and fighters yet?
We got a lot of work to do on the Marauder. It's currently warp coreless.
The sixth tale. House SupQuit'aH.
Yeah, that's why we towed it back to Mingy Station.
Yeah, we haven't done. I don't think we've done anything with it yet.
No, you just got it in. It still needs some days of repairs. I do have the sets for the Marauder and the Fighters. Okay. So I'll be able to pull those up for you. Right. So.
What did we do with the Marauder crew?
They skedaddled.
Oh yeah, that's right. They all got on the escape pods. That's right.
Well, actually, we're going to check in on that when the first scene starts. That's going to be a question we're going to want to answer. But yes, history is written by victors whom have never borne witness to the events of time. Great people, great houses, and even the great empire itself has legends that pass the lips of warriors across space and time. Legends of warriors who lived much, fought much, and honored not only their ancestors, but inspired their descendants. From the hand of Kahless strapped to his chair, to his victory over the Romulans, to his disappearance into the stars and promise of return. These are the great tales that modern Klingons dispute to the point of steel and blood. We look now to the Zeni star system, where the sixth tale of the fall and rise of House SupQuit'aH begins. Music, stop. Music, stop. 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 So, this is the war room. Presumably, this war room is situated on Zeni Station. It also could be aboard the Doktanaka. It depends on where you guys want to have this your major staff meeting. But in this place, we have the various bridge officers of the battlecruiser, along with Lore Singer Sasir. The newest face in the group is Sug Amdris, someone who was found among the various crew that were aboard the Zeni station, who joined up, rose to the call to action. So he's the senior-most flight officer over a better pilot than even your previous flight. Maul, I believe, is a Soch as well. Lord Singer Sasir looks around and says, "It has been 13 days since the betrayal of House SupQit'aH at the hands of Houses Banan, Gamola, and Rasa, where in the blinding light and destruction of Bamath Central City, they conspired to assassinate the last blood to the head of the house, where they began their thievery over the Bamath sector in the Dukbatlashdo manga. They have the manga in hand, but they have failed in their first task. House SupQit'aH has a living Jo, who bears SupQit'aH's glaive. The Doktanaka's flies red with the blood of its enemies, past, present, and forever after. From this mustering ground in the Zuni system, warriors of SupQit'aH gather. The allies of SupQit'aH stand strong. And our lore song of this glorious war is not only being sung by lore singers across the Empire, but indeed tales of the song continue even today. In all Klingon endeavor since Kahless took to the stars, houses great and small, from glorious Jo to newly recruited Beck, have marched by two paths, the paths of steel and blood. By steel we harden ourselves and sharpen our minds until we are colder than space, and wise enough to cut through any falsehood to see the truth ahead. By blood we rise to any challenger or challenge. We stand against dishonor and injustice. We fight until victory or until glorious death. This was the path of those before you, and will be the path of those after you. Kahless alone saw both paths as one Klingon among many. It is our duty, as those who followed Kahless once did, to ensure our Jo has all our wisdom and all our hearts, so that he may chart our path to victory. On this day, in this place, we must help chart our path of steel and blood to see that House SupQit'aH's enemies find themselves lacking both. Speak now, loyal warriors. Speak with wisdom, with honor, and with final glorious victory as our final tale." And she bows her head a little bit, ending the rather ceremonial beginning of the first proper staff meeting aboard the ship. Kind of overkill to have a lore singer do that, but you know.
Yeah, I think Oda is going to keep his headquarters aboard the Doktanaka, not only for just because convenience, because he'll pretty much always be where the ship is, but also for the symbolic significance of the head of the house ruling from the warship. So, while our last operation did not net us as much praise I had hoped, still we came back with our panniers full. An entire marauder, albeit heavily damaged by the work of La Torg here, one freighter, and some mysterious objects we must yet determine their contents. And do we have Ferengi prisoners? Because there's some interrogations that I would like to do.
That's the question I'll ask. Would you guys, even though they did jettison out at first, once you got control of the ship and the space, escape pods don't have warp drives. Usually the game plan is to either sit there in space and hope for rescue or be near a Class M planet and land. You guys are the only people around, so they could all be blown away in space and you have an empty ship, or you could have captured a bunch of Ferengi prisoners. And don't worry about getting a penalty for that, because you guys already had the taking prisoners penalty last time. So if you take them or not, your reputation was already dinged at it anyway. So
let's say we took 12.
What?
What? How about we say we took about a dozen refugees?
Oda would have taken prisoners until he found the captain, and then the rest would have been blown away in space.
Okay, so you have the captain of the... you find out the ship's name was, because it wasn't a question at the time that you Klingons were really concerned about. We never really asked, and they didn't tell you. This is the captain of the Winter's Dream. Is the one guy you still have left.
Well, no, I'm assuming we didn't find the captain straight off, so I would have taken prisoners until, when we brought one aboard and went, here's the captain. Let the rest die in space.
Oh, we'll randomly see how many were blown into space, other than the captain. Because it's been a few days since you've flown back from the raid and gotten back to base at Zenny Station.
Besides, they're dilithium mines on the planet below.
About 30
directives. Dictates.
They're actually... Oh, I should probably pin that in our House SupQit'aH. But it's in the Discord chat, actually. But I'll pin that for you.
Yeah, they're pinned.
Are they? Oh, they are. They are. So you have about 30-some Ferengi prisoners that you grabbed before you found the captain among them. He made it kind of hard. He kind of didn't identify himself right away. Until eventually you figured it out. It's like, wait, hold on. Look, Ferengi, either tell me... We're getting too many. Either tell us or die. Oh, it's that guy. Oh.
Yep. I figured. Because I'm very interested in why they came into the support of these freighters.
I have some experience in techniques to draw some information from them. Perhaps I could assist. Tarkin smiles.
Indeed.
I'll oversee this as well.
Indeed. We must find out exactly what the Ferengi's involvement in this shipping of illegal equipment and weapons to Gamola was about.
As far as they're concerned, I'm pretty sure they had a monetary value to it.
Torb, you were very familiar with Starfleet back there.
Yeah.
Allegiance to House SupQit'aH.
My loyalty stands with House SupQit'aH.
We will discuss your loyalties at a later time. Sog Tarkin, I know the freighter we captured, its logs were erased. However, I have been told that nothing is ever truly destroyed when it comes to computer systems. Do you think you could recover the lost information?
I will succeed this time, but you can guarantee it.
Torg, we still have those 2 black boxes containing some sort of unknown equipment that our scanners cannot penetrate. To this point, you have been unsuccessful in overriding the security, keeping them closed. Do you believe that you can succeed with more time?
I do.
then that is what the two of you will begin with. I shall begin the interrogation of the prisoners. Should I need assistance, I will be sure to call on you. Now, our strength grows. The Mingi outpost, the Zinni station, 2 capital-class vessels, albeit one in need of a warp core and several weeks of construction here at Zinni station, and 2 heavy fighters. We now have a squadron strength. Unfortunately, and I highlight the Tagi fleet on the screen, our enemies operate in fleet strength, and our bases are undermanned. We must determine a way for loyal followers of SupQuit'aH and those SupQuit'aH still out in the Bemoth sector to rally to our cause and increase our numbers in ships and warriors, scientists and engineers. We need all. We also need intelligence on our enemies. What is happening in Bemoth? What is happening in the councils of our enemies?
Actually, to that question, Torg, give me reason security difficulty 2, as you've by this time you would have received some information from Starfleet, and you could this also covers you checking the files that have been gathered from Mingi Station and Zinni Station. You also get help from the ship's computers plus security. So 1 hit so far. Hopefully the ship helps. Uh-oh.
Damn.
Would you like to succeed at cost? That means you'll succeed, but there'll be a complication attached to the success.
What kind of complication?
Let's just say you didn't get your information from Starfleet Intelligence.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going to be sending you some information. Why am I being messaged? Oh, it's something else. That's the wrong message. Actually, can I just... I can. They are a lot Torg. About to send you a file here that has an intel dump of the squadrons and surrounding areas. Computer, are you gonna play along?
Are you sending that on Discord or Roll20?
Over Discord. It's a rather long document.
Okay, got it.
That's part of the complication too, is that you don't get a summary. It's here's the full like.
Gee.
So you see Tor kind of looking at at a pad and scrolling through it.
Have your sources in Starfleet contacted you, Torg?
I don't believe this was from Starfleet.
You have other sources, then, that we are unaware of?
I am going over it right now.
I will expect your report shortly.
Hey, Captain.
Hod, shall I assist Tarkin in extracting the things from the black boxes?
wherever you think your skills would be of most assistance, either in trying to reassemble the lost data in the freighter's computer cores or defeating the black boxes.
Yes,
What about the Doctrinaka? Where are we repair-wise? Because we had 2 breaches.
Yep. You will currently you're at. It will take 2 days to repair that, unless a engineering task is done to try to repair to speed up the repair.
In that case, Keldar, concentrate your attentions on the repairs to the Doctrinaka. As our only fully functional capital ship, we cannot afford it being down any longer than necessary.
yes.
Lord Singer, do we know the status of other members of House SupQit'aH in the sector? Are they gathering, and if so, where? Can we establish communications links with them that can go unheard by our enemies?
It would seem that the ships that were still loyal to SupQit'aH have either been absorbed by the Taggy fleet or have been destroyed in battle when attending to Bemoth. Other ships that are elsewhere in the Empire are hearing the songs of our tales, but they are not aware of any call to return back to base. We could try to make some sort of communication out to them, but we'd need it to get to... If we don't want it to be intercepted by House Rasa and garbled in some way, we'd either need to get a ship or person to a station outside of Bemoth sector to send the signal, or we need some more powerful subspace radio station or installation to blast through the subspace interference. When it comes to lore songs, those travel on the voice and hearts of Klingons, but it's the for more detailed military reports, we actually need direct connection to subspace, or stronger one than House Rasa has, or we stop their their ability to cause interference across subspace in the first place.
We should strike at these traitors, Hod.
Agreed.
There is...
Yes.
Sorry, Hud. There is one other possibility. Even in the ruins of the Fort of the Fallen, there is an old subspace radio there that could be possibly used to contact our secondary channels, assuming anyone's still listening to them. But the downside of that is we would have to dig it through the rubble that was caused by the manga.
So, we must either assault and eliminate House Ross's ability to block our communications, return in a daring raid to Bemoth itself, and dig out and transmit our message from the transmitter beneath the house of the Fort of the Fallen, or potentially hack, I believe is the term, Tarkin, into Rasa's own communications network and send our messages out using their own signals.
I would happily partake in Rasa's demise, Hod.
As you yourself show, however, not all of House Rasa have lost their honor. Only the leadership.
That raises a question, Hud, of how loyal these warriors truly are to Rasa and Gamola and Ba'anan. They are were great warriors to the Empire and to House SupQit'aH, I can't imagine that there is full-throated support for what's happening. In fact, I'm surprised that so many Klingons were all right with such treasonous acts. House Gamola has had a troubled history with its aid of House Duras years ago, but that is a dishonor Gamola's been fighting since he took leadership. It strikes me strange that he would turn his back on restoring his own honor. As for Rasa, she is eccentric, is the word people would use. But I don't see her as terribly ambitious beyond getting to make the next great invention. The only great rival to House of Gitta that would truly want your death, I would think, would be Button-On, but the standards of tradition would dictate that if they wanted to challenge you, they should simply challenge you in open battle rather than this strange treason. I truly don't understand the no Klingon that I know of would take power this way. Something strange is either motivating them, or frankly, someone outside of the Empire is influencing what's going on. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Either that or they all lost their minds, but Klingons are not known for losing their minds easily.
Aha!
Oda springs up and begins kind of pacing as he talks. Your thoughts echo my own, Lore Singer. This entire situation, the betrayal, is... something about it does not make sense. But the fact remains that forces of all three of the major houses of the Bamoth sector were perfectly positioned to assist an assault when Bamoth Station went down, and to force us to flee our family headquarters. What force could control three different houses? With three very different histories and motivations and levers of influence?
Is there any possibility that Dominion changelings have infiltrated the houses?
Perhaps
Go ahead.
the computers or the black boxes may hold more information.
Perhaps we should be doing blood tests of everyone again. Even with the war over and the Treaty of Bajor signed, it may be in our interest to restart them just in case. But my understanding, from the announcements of the lore singers of Martok and the various other, and the lore singer of Kalis, the changelings withdrew all their agents from our space, the ones that weren't captured and killed. To leave any behind, well, for the Dominion to leave any behind would be to invoke the wrath of the Alliance once again and start the war all over again. The Dominion's in no position to fight us anymore. So if it was a changeling, it would be a rogue agent at best. I don't know if they'd have that much. A single changeling could affect the fate of a sector like this. A single house, maybe, but
Agreed.
4 houses.
Agreed. Perhaps changeling could take the place of one house leader, but not the others. So I think there's no need to instigate the blood tests just yet, not to mention that we lack the personnel to do it properly. Also, we must proceed with honor, even if our enemies have none. While we must always be aware that gathering our forces can and does open us up to the presence of agents and traitors, disguising themselves as loyal to SupQit'aH. We must, as honorable Klingons, take the oaths of honor of those who join our cause at face value until and unless they break their word. It is dangerous, but also the true path of honor. And it is my belief and my wish as Joe that House SupQit'aH regains its position and more through honorable action. Now, Torg, have you been able to parse this report of yours?
Yeah, I have. Came through a contact within Section 31. Most disturbing indeed.
Does Oda know what Section 31 is?
Oda would know as a house heir. He would have been briefed on that.
Okay. An eyebrow quirks, but he stays silent.
The cause of the Moth's spaceport was due to a traitor of a terrorist group called Terra Nova.
Terra Nova? Joel, that's a human organization, a species supremacist group from over a century ago. The idea that they're back again.
And using sentient crystals, giving their users psionic abilities.
With all honesty, Joe, that is the first time I've heard of sentient crystals before. Well,
they are called the Coquette crystal variant.
Tell me of these crystals.
They are said to be sentient. And they produce a radiation that is relatively harmless, but gives their users immense powers.
What sort of power?
According to this report, psionic or psychic powers. She was on this particular individual was using a repurposed Romulan civilian trading vessel, outfitted with an illegal cloaking device.
This is the Terra Nova terrorist?
Correct.
And
the USS Kismet was in pursuit of her when she did what she did to the Bamoth Star.
And what did she do?
It's still being investigated.
And does your report indicate that this person was supposedly under control of these sentient crystal beings?
Yes. She was. She had them grafted onto her skeleton. As such, the Klingon the majority of the Klingon Emperor want her tracked down and killed on sight. Federation wants her taken alive. If she's still alive. The ship that she was... These are reports from several prominent Starfleet captains.
Sentient silicon and crystalline entities, I can believe. There are Tholians, after all. But mind-controlling crystals? Not sure how much...
They do not control the mind. They just amplify what's already there.
I think we should find out for ourselves, Hod, rather than just believing information from the Starfleet.
Indeed, particularly this branch of the Federation.
What is this Section 31? I've never heard of it before.
It's a Black Ops sector of Starfleet.
Cicero gives Oda a look like,
Perhaps they are working to undermine the Empire.
No, I don't believe that is the case. Seeing as there have been meetings between Federation and Klingon Empire houses across the board.
According to your report, in the event.
And Starfleet may present one face to us and have a different face that is trying different tactics.
In any case, I'll trace the accuracy of these reports up the chain of command within Starfleet.
La Tourgue. Mention of Section 31 is limited to this room. Do you
Understood.
understand? And your inquiries through Starfleet must be made as discreetly as possible.
Well done.
Also, I will wish to speak to you in my command room after this meeting.
Understood.
Now then, we have the ship to repair, computer logs to try and recover, black boxes to try and open. We have three potential methods of getting a message out to the wider sector and those still loyal to SupQuit'aH. Now, assuming we get this message out, where do our forces rally? I do not think pointing directly to Mingi Outpost or Zinni Station is necessarily the most tactically astute move.
There's likely a point somewhere within the Asleza Expanse HUD that will be advantageous to both hide a fleet that large. Asleza Expanse traditionally has been used by House SupQuit'aH as a secret mustering ground, typically to raid into, well, years ago, into Federation space and deeper into the unknown expanses. But the trick of that is in finding a spot that is big enough and useful enough to that end. Otherwise, we would need to secure a station outside of the expanse that could withstand the brunt of the Taggy fleet.
Sog Andros, you will access our astronavigational files of the Asleza Expanse and attempt to find us such a meeting place where we could gather our forces. Someplace that is accessible yet removed from our two bases of operations, where we can gather forces and potentially weed out those who might be attempting subterfuge against our house. Also, I want you to study all of the astro-navigational data, both historic and modern, on the Asleza Expanse. It is to our advantage if we know as many routes as possible and as many vagaries of the Expanse to use to our strategic and tactical advantage. See what you can discover. Find us the unmarked paths and the places of retrenchment that we might need as the campaign continues. Tarkin, Keldar, what do you...
Sorry, I was muted. I
That's okay.
myself. I was saying, so Sog Amdris is visibly sweating, with regards to your speech earlier about traitors and whatnot. And so he nods his head, says, "Yes, Hud Oda." And with regards to my past in House Gamola, the betrayal of my house is extremely disappointing, and it angers me that my house would stoop to such levels just to try to crawl back up from their former glory. I feel that this is not the way of the Klingons. So I want you to know that from here on out, I will be loyal to House SupQit'aH, and the betrayal of my house, hopefully I will be able to clean myself of the stain that my house has put on my reputation.
Well spoken. Your loyalty to SupQit'aH and service in the past has been without blemish. And rest assured that the second of my dictate that I will hew to the second of my dictates, and your service will be rewarded.
Understood, Hodora.
Tarkin looks over and says, Andrus, we shall bring our houses into repute together with our deeds here as allies of House SupQit'aH.
Andrews look over and nods with a hint of relief, and he lets out a deep sigh of relief.
Okay, that's a bunch of stuff to read.
There is one other thing to ponder, Hood. That is, shall we say, the Orion solution to our continuing problem in this war. If you would hear it.
Indeed.
If we're unable to set right the hearts of Gamola and Rasa, it may be to our benefit to see that they find new house leadership that are loyal to the rightful Zhou of the sector. This is normally a family affair, and it is considered unconventional to interfere in another house's succession. But in this case, in this war, House Tarkin sounds a lot better than House Rasa, should she not see the way, and House Amdris may be more beneficial to us than House Gamola. But I would not ask honorable Klingons, nor would I force such a thing, but I must, as your lore singer, advise of the possible route ahead of us.
Indeed. And it may be that your actions, Tarkin and Amdris, your honorable and glorious service, may place you in the position within your families where interference will not be necessary. Certainly, Lore Singer, as we continue with our lore songs and in the future broadcasts, we will mention the glorious deeds of Tarkin and Amdris and their honor in maintaining their loyalty to SupQit'aH. This, in and of itself, may achieve our goals without the necessity of direct interference in their houses' secession process.
Then perhaps there may be something done on Rasa. However, their betrayal so far marks them as traitors.
Still, we do not have enough information to plan that far ahead. We must do the next thing in front of us. So,
as you command.
Keldar, repairs. Torg, the black boxes. Tarkin, recovering data. Amdris, information and routes through the Asleza system. I will interview this Ferengi captain and his officers. Let's see.
You said you wanted to talk with me briefly before we move forward?
And Lore Singer, see what you can dig up on the communications network that Rasa maintains and the methods they may be using to jam us. Feel free to call upon Sogs, Tarkin, and Keldar for their assistance once they have achieved their primary tasks. And yes, Torg, if you will stay.
Alright.
To our orders then, Hud?
Yes. Kapla!
Kapla. And Tarkin rises and heads off to find the freighters to do his odd commands.
Would you like me to stay, Hud, for this, or is this not one of song?
I believe this conversation best remains between the law and myself.
She bows her head.
We will not speak it before the naked stars.
A wise precaution, Joe. She steps out.
Andrus gets up and says, "Kapla," and then walks to his. I don't know where to go or what from that instant, but yeah.
Yeah, through any of the doors is good.
La Torg. I have been trying to maintain a list of your loyalties, and I must admit, I may need a bigger pad.
Sorry about that. Being a liaison, I do come across many people.
Thus far, it appears that you are loyal to the Federation and the Klingon Empire, to Starfleet and the KDF, to House Martok, to House SupQit'aH, to Starfleet Intelligence, and to Section 31.
Section 31 is Sessa, but the rest is true.
Section 31 is what? I didn't understand you.
I have people I deal with within there, but as far as loyalty is concerned, I prefer not to use them.
And yet you present information fed to you from them at our Council of War.
They prove themselves useful from time to time. Especially with this.
They have also historically proven themselves willing to act in the most dishonorable fashion for what they believe to be the best interests of the Federation. Information from them, particularly if they are sending it to someone within an exterior power, is therefore automatically suspect.
As far as my loyalties between the Federation and the KDF, it all goes down to my lineage. My mother was a Starfleet officer, and my father a KDF.
And you, who do you serve, Torg? And I hold up my hand before he can answer. This is what you must determine. For now, you have more than 2 masters. You have more than 6 masters. You must determine for yourself, separate from whatever your mother and whatever your father may have done, who you serve and why. I do not envy you this challenge, because it will mean casting off loyalties that you may currently value. But I urge you to make these choices, and to make the right ones.
As of right now, my loyalty is to House SupQit'aH.
As of right now? Do you see the problems with what you have just said? As of right now, your loyalty is the House SupQit'aH. You will hold your tongue while I speak, La. I am your captain and your Joe. Your life is in my hands. As of now, you tell me your loyalty is to House SupQit'aH. I tell you that is insufficient. Go now, perform your duties, and think on what I have said.
I must finish my.
You must not. You are dismissed.
But it is of vital importance.
Oda just stares.
Because it is a vested interest in both the Federation and House Martok that House SupQit'aH is to prosper. That is why I am here, to ensure of that. Both parties have a vested interest in this house.
So, you are not actually loyal to SupQit'aH at all, but rather to Starfleet and House Martok. So noted.
And Martok is still an ally of SupQit'aH.
Martok is the ruling house of the Empire. Martok looks out for the Empire. Its support would be welcome. But in my command staff, I need officers whose loyalty flows to me, and from me through to the Empire.
And you have my support and loyalty, Captain.
So you say, for now. Get out.
Have my actions not proven my loyalty?
Out.
With that, I go do the task assigned.
And Oda will head for wherever we're keeping the Ferengi prisoners.
Okay. I thought blades were going to be drawn there, not going to lie. I was like, oh no!
Most of it would have probably been fists.
Well, that's good. I mean, it wouldn't be to the death, so there's that.
I was about to bring up the point that I saved his damn life, but that should prove something.
Okay, let's get new scene. As we check in at Zenny Station, let's zoom out a little bit. You lose 1 momentum. Don't worry about it.
No, we have negative momentum.
Yeah. So
we're going to do all these tasks and bring us some momentum.
Where is Amdris? There you are. Keldar, you're not still drunk, last I checked.
It's been several days, I believe.
10 days later, I'm still sloshed. Stop drinking.
Hair of the dog that bit you.
Sorry, just organizing my thoughts here. All right. Tick, tick. So, who do you want to check in first? Who wants to check in first, I should say?
I'll make a roll. Is that presence plus engineering?
Let me get that number for you. It's something plus engineering. I think presence is one of them. I think another one's control. Yeah, it's control. It's control or presence engineering difficulty 2.
Okay. Well, they're the same value. And would maintenance be an applicable focus?
I'll take it.
Okay. Oh, that was the wrong one. Ugh. 2 successes and a complication.
Well, annoyingly, when you get a success, that knocks down 2 days. However, when you get a complication, that adds 2 days.
Is the difficulty 2 accounting for the rugged design?
Ooh, no, it did not. So yeah, the difficulty would decrease by 1. So you could buy off that that complication. Oh, can you? So. No, you'd only get 1. No, I'm wrong. I can't do math.
Okay.
Because you'd have 1 momentum floating. Although oddly, the way the math work, it would go, you succeeded, so 2 days goes down to 0, and then you'd add 2 days because of the complication, but you can spend 1 momentum to knock off a day. So you'd have it done in 1 day. In a rather convoluted way, but you could still do it.
Okay. Yeah, so 1 day then.
Okay. So the ship can't fly today because it's still under repairs by Keldar. After dealing with complications, he was doing super well, and then something came up that he eventually was able to overcome. Thankfully, because the Duktaraka is a rugged beast, so it was not as broken as it could have been. Who's next?
I guess I'll do a roll.
Okay. Torg, you were looking to the black boxes. You get a secret message.
Another one?
Yeah, it comes in on the comm badge you have with you.
My Starfleet badge?
Yeah.
Okay, so legit.
Commander Torg?
Commander Torg here.
Are you in a secure environment at the moment?
At the moment, yes. But keep in mind, this will be reported up to the captain of the ship.
I see.
And only the captain.
I see. Well then, since you are willing to communicate to the captain, I will say it thusly. You are in possession of certain items which would be harmful to the Federation's efforts in the region and would be better suited not to be revealed to the naked stars, I believe the saying is in Klingon. So, if this House SupQit'aH...
Are you referring to the black boxes we took possession of on a civilian transport?
Yes, the one in the same.
To be humanitarian.
Yes.
I need to see what is inside these. If you have the access codes, it would be very much appreciated.
Well, that's just it. Like Pandora's box, once such a great thing is opened, much evil spills out into the world, and naught is left but hope. I'd rather that open up upon our enemies rather than upon House SupQit'aH and yourself, Commander. So, I would suggest thusly that these items are made available to be retrieved, and should they be retrieved unopened, then there will be various friends in the Federation who will be willing to aid House SupQit'aH's efforts in reclaiming its sector, through whatever means Starfleet fails to provide. Which
I still
are
need
many.
to know exactly what is in these boxes before I can even approach the captain with the possibility of giving them back to the Federation.
Given that this will be recorded and reported, it is...
Especially since I do know the terror group Terra Nova is indeed active.
The deal is thus, Commander. Either they come to us unopened, or you're on your own.
All I ask is I know what I am dealing with.
Give me presence, command, difficulty, opposed. So the person's going to be rolling back at you to see if they can... actually, no, I'll make it a flat Yeah.
Can I finish?
Say again, sorry?
Can I finish where I'm going with this? Because I'm about to go upwards on the chain of command.
Feel free.
So, if you do not give me the information I require, I will take this to the Admiralty.
You are free to do...
I'm sure Admiral Paris and Admiral Picard would love to know what is in these boxes.
How many enemies do you have, Commander Torg? The rivals of House Martok, your Starfleet fellow officers who look upon a Klingon in their midst and wonder why he's ascended the ranks, Dominion officers who wish you harm, and indeed 3 Klingon houses who would gladly blow your ship to bits. I'm sure they would love to know where Zeni Station is. I'm sure they would love to know the location of the Duck Chanukka, which we now know. So choose if you want me to be your enemy or your ally.
Who are you with?
I am with the only group that is willing to help you.
Identify your faction.
I am a loyal Federation citizen who is concerned about the affairs of my allied empire.
I place the communicator on mute.
Yeah, you tap it and mute it.
And using my KDF communicator, I send a signal to the captain requesting his presence immediately.
Oda will kind of clear his throat. Very well. And I'll turn and head for whatever cargo bay or lab that the black boxes are in.
Once he enters, I motion for him to remain quiet while I continue the communique.
Oda will nod.
I reactivate the comm line. Once again, I ask, what faction am I dealing with? Why do you want these boxes so damn bad?
You can attempt presence, security, difficulty 5.
I'm about to buy 3 dice then.
You're buying 3 dice, so that's 3 threat to me.
It's a lot of dice. So are you using threat? Do you have any momentum?
No.
I need to know who I'm dealing with, though.
Yeah.
So how many did I roll?
You rolled 3.
I rolled 3. I'm gonna roll 2 more because I don't know why, but I didn't do the 5 that I wanted.
Oh, you bought 3 dice. I can do math. Sorry. 1, 2. That's 3 hits.
Yeah.
Do you have a value you would like to invoke to reroll the 2 16s?
Yeah, I'll do. I have friends in high places.
Yep, I'll take that. Given what you brought up those names, so that might sway. This might be enough to sway them.
I mean, Admirals Picard, Paris, Janeway. Fuck.
She's not an admiral yet.
Admirals.
I don't think she's back yet at this time. Yeah, she doesn't come back yet. Captain Janeway at this point.
Isn't Picard still a captain too?
No, he made admiral by this point.
Oh, okay.
I think he made admiral after the Dominion War. Didn't he? Still captain?
He might have.
I don't know. I'm not sure when the last movie took place.
Yeah.
Well, was he captain in Nemesis? Because Admiral Janeway contacted him and gave him orders. I remember that.
Which that would have happened after our current time. We're about a little after the Dominion War ended.
Right. We're like the year before Janeway got back, I think.
Yeah.
77.
Yeah.
But anyway, you have friends in high places. Like, you know people. So give me 2d20. Ooh,
Nice.
Did you have a focus by
Oh.
chance? I don't know if you did. Hold on. Not really, no. None of them are really negotiation type stuff. So those are just
Still.
flats. Still, though,
5 hits.
that's 5 on the button. Someone in chat. Janeway has returned by 78 and was promoted to admiral to keep her out of the captain's chair. And apparently he was still captain in Nemesis, according to chat. So, but yeah, after there's a pregnant pause, as it were, as Tor kind of stares at the communicator, waiting for a response. And Oda, you can feel a palpable tension in the air, like there's something unsaid that's just hovering there.
I pause the communicator while we wait, and give him a look, and like, this son of a bitch knows what the hell's in these boxes.
I
Oda nods.
am a loyal Federation citizen who is acting under Article 14, Section 31 of the Federation Charter. As are you, Commander. Unless your loyalty to the Federation is in question.
I tap the communicator and said, my loyalty right now is to the KDF, most specifically House SupQit'aH. So you give me the access codes to this, or I will end this communication, and I'll bring this up to Admiral Paris the next time I speak with him.
By the next time you speak with him, he may learn that you have forsaken your loyalty to the Federation. Why would he listen to a traitor?
My mandate with Admiral Paris was, by any means possible, I am to see that House SupQit'aH is to prosper. So my actions will not be called into question.
I've made my offer, and you are free as a Federation citizen to make your choice. Just remember, Commander, all choices have consequences.
Weapons of this nature are not to be unleashed anywhere in the galaxy by any faction.
You hear a chirp as they hang up on their end.
And so, you were sent here by Admiral Paris, it seems.
He's one of the people in charge of the Borg Reclamation Project.
What did the Borg have to do with this?
I gave you a look, and you can still see the implants on me. He's the one who freed me from that dreadful collective.
Granted, but what did the Borg have to do with the need to support SupQit'aH?
It is not the Borg, it is the Federation that wishes to support House SupQit'aH.
Why? The Federation has never given us much of a thought before. The Moth borders parts of Federation space, but nowhere near the core. Why does the Federation and this Admiral Paris at Starfleet have such an interest in my house?
It was suggested by one of their former commanders to look into House SupQit'aH.
Who is this commander?
He'd be more than a commander by now.
What is this person's name?
Worf of Moog.
I think you mean Worf of Martok, do you not?
Originally, he was of House Moog.
I am aware of the ambassador's lineage, but currently he is Worf of House Martok.
It was by his suggestion to Admiral Paris that we endorse House SupQit'aH. And by we, I mean the Federation.
And yet, you were assigned before the fall of House SupQit'aH. Did the ambassador or House Martok or this Admiral Paris have reason to believe that our house would need support suddenly?
We had reason to believe that there was tension among the houses.
There's
House
always
SupQit'aH
tension.
might need the extra support.
House SupQit'aH has never needed the support of aliens in our dealings with other Klingon houses. Our blades and our honor have always proven more than sufficient.
Have my actions towards you not proven my loyalty?
Your actions towards me have certainly proven your loyalty to this Admiral Paris and Starfleet, but to House SupQit'aH, no. Quite the opposite, actually. You stand here and tell me that you were sent here by the Federation ambassador to the Klingon Empire and also a member of House Martok, who suggested to a Federation admiral that House SupQit'aH would need the support of the Federation for reasons unknown because of House tensions. So you are here as part of a Federation plot to interfere with the internal workings of the Klingon Empire. This is not loyalty to either the Empire or SupQit'aH.
Matter of fact, it does prove it because I volunteered to join House SupQit'aH.
In order to serve this Admiral Paris and the Federation.
Torque,
I cannot. Yeah.
1 second. Torque, give me Insight Command difficulty 1. Well, that's good. I mean, you gained a moment. Actually, you gained 2 momentum out of that, so that's beneficial. What you realize is that you're questioning a captain and a house leader to his face. Eventually, if you push hard enough, he may challenge you to battle. Thankfully, though,
I would probably accept, but
yeah, but that just letting you know that's the direction this might be going. But the saving grace here is that you are, because you made the rock, I can also point out that you are, as a liaison officer of Starfleet. Starfleet is an ally to the Klingon Empire, so Starfleet helping out its ally. Well, it's not the first time Starfleet's not so much interfered. I mean, they've helped the Klingons before. It's just usually, yeah. So you have some saving grace, but I warn you to be careful. That's something your character would realize on his own with that roll. Continue. Don't mind me.
I am not trying to make an enemy of you, Captain.
What was the rest of the substance of this conversation that I just heard the last part of? What made you think it important enough to call me down here?
The individual on the other end of that communicator wanted these 2 black boxes unopened.
Very well.
And wanted to do it in less than honorable means.
And what did he offer in exchange?
He offered the support of the Federation, which I found very suspicious, as he was acting through Section 31.
And if you had refused?
And we would be alone without support.
position we already find ourselves in.
Exactly.
Odd that this individual would attempt such a request without any more leverage than that.
He also mentioned it would be very bad if we open these containers.
Well, see to it that you don't blow up the station when you open them.
Hence the reason I was asking for the, if you knew the codes to unlock them.
I want these opened. Failing that, I want to know what is inside them. What makes Section 31 so interested in them?
Precisely why I asked you here.
Open these black boxes for me. And I leave the room, head back towards my appointment with the Ferengis.
Okay. All right, Torg. How are you going to open these boxes?
I can try hacking them.
Sure. Let's make this a...
Don't make it too difficult.
Oh, it's pretty hard to begin with.
I just narrowly avoided blows with the captain.
Yeah.
Which would have been an interesting fight. Because he has been known to go blow to blow with authority in the Federation.
Yeah. It's just normally the worst that happens to the Federation is you get written up for it. In Klingon in the KDF, you get killed over that. Well, you get threatened, you get attacked, and you might live.
Yeah, or I might take control of the ship.
Yep, so you're looking at, unfortunately...
And also of the control of the house, too. That'd be on the line as well.
Well, one problem at a time. Our current problem is control, science, or security, difficulty 5. It's super hard. Sorry.
Can it be engineering?
You could always wait.
Actually, no. Control security, I can do. I can do that.
Okay.
You could also
But I'm
wait
gonna
and bring in Keldar or Tarkin to assist with that big of a role.
That would be that'd be helpful too. 'Cause I don't want to get GM any more threat than absolutely necessary. So who has the higher in science?
My assist roll would be 14 for that.
Then I'll need your help.
Yeah, and the GM points out you also can spend 1 momentum and 1 threat for a security team.
Ooh, no. He's headed security.
Oh, right, he gets that free.
He's a weapons officer.
Yeah. So yeah, you can get a security team advantage, which you could use to lower the difficulty to 4, on top of everything else.
Let's do that as well. Because I don't know exactly what the hell is in these containers.
Okay, so Tarkin will respond to the call for assistance and will investigate the black boxes and try to figure out a safe way of not breaking any seals or any contaminants. Maybe putting it into a secure thing before we try to open it.
I'll note,
Security field?
by the way, Tarkin, if you're assisting with this, for this scene, you'll be tied up helping Torg with this. So your task that you were assigned won't get done right away. It might take, which may or may not be a problem.
Okay.
Whatever his task is, I will assist him in the next... after we're done with it.
I was ordered by Hoda to do that, and I made a commitment because I failed to do it before, so I'm going to go back to my task.
Alright, how much momentum do we have?
2.
I'm gonna use those plus 1 threat, maybe to get 2 more dice.
Yep, you could do that. And if you call a security team to help you with it, that brings the difficulty down to 4.
That's why I'm doing 4 instead of 5.
Yeah. Boop. Yeah. Checking your sheet. I'll take survival out of that, I think. 1, 2, 3. I clicked away from the sheet. That wasn't smart. I need to look that up. So you're... Oh, yeah, you easily hit 15. So 16. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. On the bloody button. That was a little close.
Nice.
Damn, I'm a good hacker.
And Torg, you begin opening the boxes, and we'll catch up with him next scene because something is about to happen once he opens that damn box.
Nice.
Oh no. Well.
Oh, great. Is there a security field in place?
For 2 threat, there can be.
Do it.
Okay. So noted.
I do not want to be burned.
So who's next?
I'll go next.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what was the role for getting the, I think it was navigational information?
Inquiry.
What was that? Sorry, I got confused there.
What was Tarkin's role?
Question real quick. With what I'm about to open, does it have anything to do with that report I received earlier?
I will answer that next scene. Probably though. I believe Andrus was doing. I believe Andrus was doing the navigation role. Tarkin was. Oh, you were hacking the computer for the captain.
Ah, yes.
You're trying to hack the computer again. That's what it was.
Yep.
So that will be control plus science. Difficulty. I have threat, so let's make this harder. Would be 2, 3, 4. Let's put it up to 4. But thankfully, you do have the help of the ship, so the ship can help you with computers plus science. Computers?
All right.
Yeah, computer science. I can spell computers. Computers. There we go.
Okay.
Would a focus of research help with this?
11.
Yes, now that you're doing it in the safety of Zenny Station's dock.
And I'm gonna use my values. Because he
Oh,
doesn't
God.
want to fail again, he's gonna grip tightly and never let go of trying to get as much information or this information.
I'll take it, yeah.
So automatically 2. I'll give you 1.
The ship's console explodes.
Oh, no.
I believe he has technical expertise, so he should be able to re-roll that.
Yeah.
Oh, groovy.
I do. So re-roll that, and I'll use 1 threat as well for an extra dice to be able to get a single re-roll.
Not great, but
Better than a 20.
yeah. No help, but no hurt.
Okay, so that's
3 successes.
5, and then 2 from my values for a.
So that's 5, yep.
Yep.
So that's you gain 1 momentum out of that.
I'll re-roll that 16 just in case it.
The fish, yeah.
Pitch. No.
No.
One total.
One momentum. Yep. So Tarkin, you toil away at the controls of the Doctrinaka as repairs are being done by Keldar's men, and you're pouring through the data from the freighters that were captured, or the freighter, sorry, singular, that got captured. It would seem that the freighter came from. It officially lists in its manifest that it came from Narendra Station. That's the major starbase in this side of the galaxy in the Beta Quadrant. The nearest, there are other smaller starbases that are around, but that's the big one. That's where the 10th Expeditionary Fleet was based out of until they moved. And it was situated just at the edge of the Shackleton Expanse. But when you dig into it, the unofficial report is that this thing actually came from it didn't list that it went to a station called Terminus Perizol, a Ferengi station out in the Shackleton Expanse. It's a privately owned station, put it that way.
So no allegiances to Ferengis at all?
Say again, sorry?
It doesn't have any allegiances to the Ferengi. It's a completely private.
It has allegiance to Ferengi in as much that a Ferengi owns it, and he's a member in good standing of the Ferengi Commerce Authority. So, because Ferengi don't have a standing navy per se, they just have a bunch of captain diamonds that wander around with license to fly marauders and whatever else.
Oh.
So,
that report you sent me is intertwining all of this.
So that's where the ship went. According to the file, the crew doesn't know what's in the black boxes. They picked up the black boxes from there. The supplies they had aboard, they got from Starbase 21. So they told 21. Sorry, I'm mixing up bases. Narendra Station. Now, Narendra Station. They told Narendra Station and the Federation, we're going from Narendra Station through Klingon space to a starbase in Federation space. So basically going Starbase 27, I believe, is the one they would go. It's the closest one on the other side of the of where they're going. So they were saying, we're going from in one place. I don't know why I'm matching with my hands. You can't see me. But they were like, hey, we're going to go from here to here. Or like here to here, like a straight line. Instead, they went this way, did some stuff, then they're going to head back. And that's why they ran into the rest. That's where that convoy ran into. So that whole convoy basically went out there, grabbed something unregistered, and then we're coming back.
Fell into our laps.
Yeah, until they got intercepted. They were paid a significant amount of latinum. A lot of latinum for the job to take the black boxes. Like, the black boxes are worth more than the ship is.
It doesn't say where that source of payment is from.
From the cargo seller is all it says. Because you have the science officer ability, you can ask one question, and I can supply who gave it.
Yeah, I will ask that question.
You bloody have that power. Darn you. Let me get you that name. I have to look over my notes here. It seems it was done by the owner of Terminus Perizol. Oh, there's his name. Oh, I forgot why it's called Terminus Parasol. It's Diamond Parasol, as in it's his station. I've forgotten about that.
It's a diamond. Diamond. Ah, okay. Parasol. All right.
So the station owner and captain was the one that facilitated the deal.
Oh, so they're one and the same person? The captain of the freighter as well as the captain of the station is the same person?
No, the captain of the freighter was different than... The captain of the freighter dealt with Diamond Parasol, and that's where he got the black box deal from.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah.
just for my notes, theoretically, this freighter, the convoy was supposed to go from Narendra through Klingon space and to Starbase 21. That was the route, right?
Starbase 27. I misspoke.
27. But what they didn't said after leaving Narendra was take a little detour to Terminus Parasol, pick up some unregistered cargo, and then move into Klingon space.
Yep.
Okay.
So now I'm even more suspicious of these black boxes.
Tarkin, do you have any other questions you wish to ask for the cost of momentum or threat?
How much momentum do we have left? One. I guess if there's information about what's contained in those black boxes, then I would use it towards that, but I'm assuming that they probably don't have information.
Chat says you can always spend threat. Chat cheering me on here, thank you. I don't think they're giving me threat, just wild guess.
That's a pretty low threat game thus far. Oh, sorry, I play with Prax.
To learn what's in the boxes, I would have to treat that as an advantage rather than obtain information. So I'd actually charge you 2. So 1 momentum, 1 threat. But you could learn what's in them.
Okay, let's go ahead because we may need it in the challenge ahead. And just a mechanics thing, because I used a value and recalled a last time I used it, can I use that towards a milestone?
At the end of session, yeah. If it's your first time recalling back on it, it's a milestone. If you do it again, it's a arc, I believe. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, but note which one you use. That way we can look it up later. That question will be dramatically revealed next scene. But is there any ancillary information you wish to know? Because that was the big money question.
No, I can't really spend any more momentum for that. So.
Okay. So Tarkin learns that in the files, even though officially they weren't supposed to look into it, a rather enterprising crewman decided to be a little... Well, he knew his way around a scanner and happened to have a specialized quantum scanner with him. It's not like he looks into people's packages all the time for any reason to rob them. I mean, to check them for things in them. And he decided one day to look it up. The freighter security guy caught him doing it and said, "No, you can't do that. Not without paying me." So you learn what the security guy learned. And that's why you had to dig at it, because the captain didn't know, and the security guy learned it and then just didn't tell anybody. He just kind of wrote it in his own notes and then encrypted it, which you already broke the computer, so his encryption is pointless. You have master computer control, so you went, oh, well, decrypt because you're a civilian ship and I'm a Klingon officer. You lose. So, Amdris, I believe you're next up on the firing line. To go. So you were ordered to look for a place for the ships to muster and some routes in and out of the as well as the expanse.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a check. Oh, I remember now. It is... I'll up the difficulty a little bit because I'm a nice GM. Reason plus con difficulty. This is your first roll too. I'm sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, 9 threat versus 0 momentum.
Okay, so it's reason con difficulty 4. The ship helps you with computers con. So there are 2 ways you can roll dice. There are the little things in the lower left task roller you can roll in, or you can do it with the d20s.
And since you're creating in play, this would be a good opportunity to maybe think about a talent. Bold con lets you spend threat, so to buy. Well, bold con, when you spend threat, you get to reroll 1 die. Cautious con, if you spend momentum, you get to reroll a die. Or you could take an. I don't know if there's. You could take a con talent or something, but it's always handy to have a talent that helps you do something with dice. I think your family, your house.
Oh yeah,
House Gamola has a con talent that lets you reroll.
Yeah, it's old lessons. If I fail the con task, I gain a free d20 on the next one.
That's a pretty cool talent.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm up for just like I like to be specialized with the con stuff, so I'll go with cautious con talent if that was a thing.
Yep, yeah. That lets you use momentum for that purpose.
Okay.
Couldn't you technically take both?
No.
You can only take bold or cautious on the same discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now. Yeah. Right now we don't have any momentum to spend, but I mean, you can take cautious. That's fine.
Yeah. No, I just. Yeah. I just don't. I'll just go with cautious for right now.
Cool.
But so you said on the bottom left, there's I don't see anything on the bottom left. I just see our avatars.
Oh, if you
click on your token, there should be something on the top left.
Yeah.
That says
Or-
task roller.
Yeah, or up at the top, upper right again, the 3 horizontal bars. If you click on that, you'll see macros and a little place where you can click that says show macro quick bar, and that'll put those macros up at the bottom.
Okay, I click show macro quick bar, and then task roller and challenge dice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so this one would be a task roller.
Yep.
Okay, number of die. I'm guessing.
So normally you'd be rolling 2, but as you saw other people with a high roll, you might want to spend some threat to increase your dice.
Value.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'll change the talent to the other con then.
Bold con?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can always buy threat, but it's really hard to buy.
Yeah, with
if
momentum.
you don't have it,
Yeah. Okay, and you said that it was, so going back to the chat, it's a reason plus con. So my reason is 10, and my con is 5.
15.
And then, but you made it difficulty 4, so then it's 11.
No. So when you roll the d20s, you're basically trying to get a certain number of successes. And the difficulty is how many successes you're trying to get with your d20s. To get a success, you need to roll your target number or lower.
Okay. So then you said 2 by default, and then I can spend, or I can buy with threat.
Yep, you can buy up to 5 dice total. So you can spend 1 threat for 1 die, 3 threat total for 2 dice, or 5 threat to buy your max of 5.
Okay. So if I need 4 successes, then that means that. But you said the computer's helping me, so is that another die, or is that?
Yeah, that'll be rolled by the ship. Generally speaking, if you want to roll as many dice as the difficulty number, and that's kind of how my off the cup plays it, unless you're getting a bunch of assists.
Okay.
So to roll a total of 4 would be giving him 3 threat, and you get to re-roll one of those. Plus, you're getting assisted by the ship. Now, I'd also suggest at this point that you pick a focus, because that will mean that if you roll 5 or less, your con score or less, you'll one success will actually act as a critical success, so you get 2 for that. I guess astronavigation might be good, or you can ask the GM, but it'd be good to take a focus here too.
Yeah. Is it just one focus right now?
Yep, you only have one focus active for any one roll. So.
Oh, okay. I'll do astro navigation. That's the starting one. Astro. Yeah. Okay. Okay, then so I have 2, so I guess I will buy with the bold con. I will buy 2 more dice.
Okay.
So the number of dice is 4.
Right.
An attribute plus discipline, so 10 plus 5, so 15.
Right.
Do you want to use your point of determination to get either a perfect opportunity for 2 successes, or you can use it after to re-roll any unsuccessful dice?
So the determination is like a once a session thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There are ways to get it back, but they're costly and to do.
Okay. I think I'll pass on that for right now, unless you guys think it's vitally critical to do that. I just don't know like the severity at which I'm doing right now, so.
It's up to you. I personally don't think this is a make or break roll, but then again, I'm not the GM.
Yeah.
Mechanically, I'll say that sometimes, at some point, during a session, you want to try to spend one of your values, because values are also using a value is how your character advances, or it can be changed around. So if you think if you think this is gonna be your only big roll, then don't worry about it. Rather do use it in some way, or you're like, I might save this for another roll that I think will be more important down the line for my character.
Okay. I think I'll save it for now.
Okay.
Now it says discipline number for focus.
That's your con score.
That's the con score.
Yeah, because you're using a discipline, so that'll make sure that it'll let you know if it's you hit that crit.
Okay. So 5, and then complication number
20.
20. Okay.
I'll be nice and not make it lower.
Okay, so I guess 3 successes.
With 1 complication because of the 20,
but you can re-roll that.
Okay, because of my house with the old lessons.
Because of bold. Bold lets you rerun 1 die if you buy dice with threat.
Okay. So then, so I go back to task roller. Number of die 1, 15. Focus is 5, and complication number. Oh.
Well, no complication though.
Oh, no complication.
Right, because that you re-rolled the 20 to a 17, so no comp.
Okay.
Yep.
So you still got 3 successes. The ship's helping with
Computers Con.
Computers Con. That's 12.
Problem with ship help, but ship's not usually great at this stuff normally. Ships are only really good for like 1 or 2 rolls. The rest they're kind of.
Ship says fuck you.
Oh well, fine then.
There you go.
Fine then. See if I can.
Thank you, old Bilsky.
So Amdris, you do some calculations, and it would seem that you even remember some of the old lessons when you were being brought up in House Gamola about how, even though House of Gitta has traditionally used this area, Gamola has used this area as a way as a through point with SupQit'aH's help to raid people. Like they be the front line of the first wave of an attack, and then SupQit'aH would roll in with the rest of the fleet. Sometimes Gamola just wanted to raid somebody because they needed more resources, or the KDF needed something. They're like, we need more of this. And then Gamola goes, we'll go get it. We'll pop down to some poor little planet somewhere and raid them and take what we can. So between that and having access to House SupQit'aH's charts, it's hard, but you're able to finally sort out what made it so difficult as well is that as Les's Expanse is a stretch of space, a large stretch of space, almost 20 light years by 20 light years. It's a massive space. That has various nebulas and ion storms that all swirl and move around. It's not quite Badlands bad, but in our star system's in there. But there's a reason why people don't. Only the military really has bases in here. Like Zeni Station is a House SupQit'aH station. It's not really meant for trade. Because the only people insane enough to come in here are the KDF. Your average convoy doesn't come in here. And smugglers don't like coming in here because the KDF's in here. But yeah, you're able to find a bit of space in the Expanse that you could tuck a fleet away in. And then you even do some plotting for what weather's going to be like for the next so many months. So you know roughly how the storms are going to be, where people should move, where the charts are going to be, that sort of thing. That all said, do you have any questions that you wish to ask at the cost of 1 threat per question answered? Related to this role, I should point out.
Into this role. I don't have it.
Wanted to make sure. So, also, your station blows up because I'm picking on everybody today. Not just kidding. And Oda, you wanted Seer to check something for you, I believe.
Yes.
Check communications in Rasa for...
Yeah, find out potential targets for either disrupting their jamming or for us to go and try and hack, and see if she could find out exactly what they're using to jam.
She
So,
can...
yeah, whatever she can find out to our advantage about Ross's communications and ability to jam us.
Would any of that be in that report?
The report has what the fleet strength is, like what they have in their disposition, but they don't have targets quite yet. They just have what ships they have. That's something you were able to pull up from the ship logs, what was currently in service.
Oh yeah, so that's by intelligence, but not applicable to the current situation.
Well, since I'm picking on people, I'll even pick on Seer, because why not? That 3, that'd be 4. So she's looking at a Diff 4 task. Her total for this role is going to be probably Reason Command. No, she's trying to figure out where people are. I believe you accidentally deleted the planet name.
Looking planet, I think.
Whoops. I did. It's any 3. Thank you. So she's looking at a 8 and 4 is 12. She's rolling on a 12. Does she have a focus in this? Not really, no. Does she have a talent that helped with this? Not really. She will spend toward her value the power behind the power, so she knows where various information that isn't normally known to people as a lore singer. So that brings it effectively down to Diff 2. Do you want her to buy any dice? She's being assisted with the communications plus command of the ship.
Sure, she can buy dice.
Okay. 1 die?
Diff 2.
Yeah.
She's rolling a 12.
Yep. No focus.
Yeah, let's buy 2 dice for 4 total. So 3 threat for you.
Okay. So, whoops, I'm rolling challenge dice. That's the wrong one. Close that, please. Thank you. 4 dice. 12. 1. Complication.
Ooh.
Damn.
She got... Oh no, she got at least 2 hits because she spent her determination. So she made it. Actually, no, it would cost more because she spent determination. So I actually got... Not 3. I get 2 more, actually. Or 1 more, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, she got it with the complication.
Yep, nothing we can do.
So she'll be revealing that to Hod Oda in the next scene. Hod Oda, what are you up to?
I'm going to talk to this Ferengi captain.
Oh, yes. So we're going to scroll down a little bit, indicating you're speaking with somebody. Okay. Don't have a better one for this. Nah, he's buried. Don't worry about it. So I imagine you have him in a brick cell on board the Dukshanaka.
Yep.
Presumably security's in there. You see the Ferengi captain sitting in his chamber, looking rather frightened given his situation.
Lower the field.
The Klingon nods and the field drops. The Ferengi kind of, oh no.
Yep. I rush right in, grab him by the lapels of his suit, because of course he's wearing a suit.
It's a nice suit too.
And jack him up against the wall. You are going to tell me everything I want to know, and you will make me believe that you are telling the truth. Because if you do not, things will go very poorly for you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Of course. I completely understand. Of course, great, brave warrior.
You are the captain of the Venter's Dream.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Why did you attack us in the nebula?
Well, it wasn't so much an attack, really. It was more of a salvage operation, you see. We accidentally hit your ship.
I take my dock tang and pierce his ear.
Oh, God. Give me daring security difficulty 2 to establish the advantage of enough pain that he will notice, but not so much he passes out.
That's fair.
Because you might do a little too much damage to the poor Ferengi's ear, because, oh my God, ow.
Mock Bara for a focus?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a threat for the 3rd die, just to try to make sure I make this. What's my daring?
Actually, I'm going to increase the ear complication up by 1.
Okay. So that's 3 successes, actually, but it's also a complication. And I don't have anything. Wait.
Waiting?
No, that doesn't help. No, I can't really do anything about the complication. I don't really want to spend a determination on it.
I'll just take the 2 threat. I'm good.
Where the hell did you get this? From the box?
So I'm being messaged. Why? Oh, it's something else. So, yeah. Saw that. Saw something in Discord. Don't mind me. The Ferengi screams for a second because that hurts a lot. One of the most sensitive parts of the Ferengi anatomy. When eventually you pull back, so you're not just pushing to the point that he just conks out from shock. All right. Stop.
I don't have time for nonsense. Speak honestly.
Look, I just thought you were damaged. They were damaged. 2 for 1. Nothing personal, just business.
And yet, you were positioned perfectly to intercept these freighters.
Well,
I kind of moved the blade of the dock tang back toward his ear.
No, that's fine. No, but like, just like, look, good warrior. It's lots of people use that route, all right? It's not some big secret. I mean, it is because people smuggle, but like, I just thought I'd hang around, catch somebody, and if they're too big, I don't bother. If they're small enough, I give it a shot. And with a Marauder, I usually win, especially against freighters. I don't attack Klingons because, that's a death sentence unless you're already damaged, which you were not as damaged as I thought. So, yeah, that was a mistake.
Do I think he's telling me the truth?
Insight, security, difficulty, oppose, because he's Ferengi. Of course he's opposing.
Right.
I'll spend 3 threat. Please believe me. I'm just a helpless little Ferengi. I'm not doing anything. I'm just here,
I'll match you
by
spending 1 momentum and 2 threat.
That's not fair. You should let the Ferengi win. He's just small and tiny.
Yeah, that's why it's not let the Ferengi win. It's let the Wookiee win. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out if he's telling the truth. I don't think persuasion, intimidation, or inspiration will work. So no focus.
Ooh, one of his abilities kicks in. The difficult he gets 2 free hits because the difficulty to convince him of to see through him is increased. Do I get any rerolls? He's not doing that, and he's not doing that. Okay, yeah, so that's all he does. Good luck, Frankie. How about 2 dice? So,
and with 2 free hits, I mean.
Yeah. Yee, that's actually a pretty good roll for him. Hey, he has a focus. Does that help him? Could. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total of 7 hits.
Wow.
So, unless you have some way to reroll any of that.
Nope.
Yeah, that's everything. He seems scared more than anything to you. I mean, and you get this sense that Frankie are kind of weak-willed, so he'd probably just cave the minute you pointed the dagger at him.
Fair enough.
I mean, he did scream a lot, so that probably means he's being honest.
Well, in that case, I'll grab his hand, put the dock tang in it, step back a step, and draw my mek'leth. I believe you. Therefore, I have no use for you. But I will give you the opportunity to defend yourself.
Whoa, 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 hold on. That's a real dagger. That's a really nice dagger. Look. Maybe we could help each other. I shouldn't gesture with the knife. We can help each other, brave warrior. Look, I'm a diamond, you're someone important, and I could make my ship, I can make you and your captain person a preferred client of my ship, and I could help with your very nice station that you have.
That will be difficult considering that your ship is now my ship, and that I am the captain of whom you speak, and the lord of the house. So defend yourself, Ferengi. You have nothing more to offer me. So, it's time for you to die.
I'm not sure what he's gonna do. He's kind of in a bind.
Well, I'll attack him if he's going to prevaricate.
He's going to attempt to convince you of something, but it might just involve you stabbing him. So he's going to try one social roll. If he doesn't get it, then you're in combat because he's giving you nonsense. If he gets it, he thinks it's something that might be useful to you.
Okay.
Good luck, buddy. I know what else to do with this idiot. And your values are of no help to me. All right. I'm fine. I'm just mad at this captain for being not being good for this. If he surrenders to being honorable, he's not that clever, chat. This is not a clever diamond. If he was a clever captain, he wouldn't have attacked a Klingon vessel.
Fair.
He doesn't get his bonus because he's not trying to hide something from you. That's unfortunate. He gets a free reroll on this because he's negotiating. He has a focus. And I can't spend for my values, so I am going to spend as much threat as I can. Because, oh god, he's going to die. He can't win this fight. 2. So 5 threat. This is by all the dice.
Is this being opposed, or?
It's being opposed, yeah.
Okay. What are we rolling?
Presence. You can roll. You would be rolling insight, command, or security.
I'll go with command since it's higher. So is he trying to persuade me of something?
Yes.
Okay.
He's trying to sell you on something that's actually valuable, but he's trying to find out what it is before you get impatient and just go, never mind, and just stab him. Like, I'm bored of this conversation anyway, stab.
Fair enough. I'm enjoying me. Right, so I'm only going to buy 1 extra die for bold.
Okay. Dang it.
16. Oh,
That's the challenge
sorry,
dice.
wrong roller. Yeah. Don't think I have a focus here, though. Unless persuasion works against persuasion. Huh.
It does, because you're persuading him. No, come on, fight. Come on, dude, let's do this. This is fun. Don't you want to do this? No, I don't.
Okay, so I got 3.
Okay, Diamond. This is your moment. You're going to die otherwise. That's not a good... Those are 2 20s. That's not great. That is not great news. I get to reroll. I have to spend a threat to reroll, but he gets to reroll. He's going to reroll those 20s, just in case you're wondering. God damn it.
Oof.
God damn it. I can only do that once, can't I? I don't get to do that multiple times, I don't think. No, it's not a recurring. That's not how that works. Cool, well, you got rid of one of them. So that's 1, 2, 3 with a complication.
That's tie. don't know.
He loses because he has a complication. You get to go first in the combat.
Okay. Stab.
Are you swinging for lethal? I have to ask.
Klingons don't take prisoners, especially once they're completely useless to me.
He will. Okay, so that's one threat to the pool.
Let's see which one. The Mechleth. Okay.
Oh, Ferengi, you're so dead. I do not know how I'm going to save you. You're so gone.
Take a threat for the third die.
He'll spend it back.
Daring security.
Actually, you know what? He's going to spend that threat plus 2 more and the last 3. Because, oh god. Big Klingons coming at me. All I have is a knife.
I thought I rolled. Oh, I did, yes. 3 successes.
Yeah. How's your daring security? It's not bad, actually. Does he have any fighting? I don't know why I asked that, but he might. He does not. Oh, I could have done that. Oh well, too late. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 hits.
Wow.
Yeah. Gain 2 threat. He rolls that many challenge dice because he's using a dagger. I believe the dagger has vicious 1.
Yeah, and it's also, weirdly, the only deadly weapon in the book. So I think it's automatically lethal in it.
He has to spend 2 threat to get rid of it because he won't swing for lethal.
Okay.
He will spend 1 to hopefully make you go away, though, to reroll those whiffs, because that's all of 2 damage. So, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And resistance, if he's rolling non-lethally, brings it down to
4.
Okay.
He flails out wildly, and as much as he's flailing, when he hits you, he actually has a good, decent arm strength on him.
Oda smiles. That's it, Ferengi. Now you're showing some heart.
Look, really, we could just not do this. I mean,
Oh no, it's on now, boy.
He is going to. You could swift task to attack again if you wanted. At increased difficulty.
I don't have any to spend on that.
You can give me threat.
I don't want to.
Okay. Darn it. Ferengi gets to go. Yep. He's just going to try to stab you. Which, annoyingly, because he doesn't swing for lethal, I have to spend threat for him to swing non-lethally. Because it's a deadly weapon. Wait, no, I have to... Yeah, that's how it works. So, for me. So I just roll flat. Yeah. It's opposed, so...
Okay. I'll give you a threat for a third die. Ah, damn it. Need to switch those around or something. Daring. That's 5. No, 4, because the 4 is a...
Oh, no. Chat pointed out something that's true. I do have to spend 2 threat for him to swing non-lethally. However, when you swing a deadly weapon non-lethally, you increase your own difficulty by 1. So, did he still hit you earlier?
He got 5 successes last time. So, and I got 3. So his would have been a 4. So yes.
But I would have had less threat. You know what? I'm gonna slap myself on the wrist here and give you 2 momentum because he technically cheated. He wouldn't have been able to attack you otherwise.
I will not turn down the extra momentum.
Because yeah, he wouldn't have swung if he had to swing lethal, and I wouldn't have had the threat to buy it off until you spent threat, which 1 threat isn't enough. So that said, 2 hits. You got 4 hits, so that was a mistake. You gain momentum. Roll damage.
Hit.
Oh, and you swung for lethal. So he gets 1 more.
Where is the family mechleth?
Yeah, chat. It's both. When normally you spend for an NPC to swing for lethal, but if trying to swing a deadly weapon non-lethally, you're supposed to spend to not do that. But
okay, so that is 5 raw because it is vicious. Plus, I gave you 1 threat for bold for the 3rd die. So with to battle, that's 1 bonus momentum, which may only be spent on bonus damage. So that brings it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to spend 1 momentum to re-roll the 4 whiffs.
okay.
So 10 total. Sorry, 9.
He's still up with that after that. He's going to spend to avoid injury. Because otherwise he's going to go down lethal, so. Yep.
Okay. So now I will attack him again.
No.
Kind of just what happens. So I will give you... let's make it fun. I'll give you 3 threat for 4 dice.
He will spend those 3 threat, but will instead try to kick you, because he's a little scared of the knife, and he doesn't want to accidentally kill you and then be murdered by the other Klingon. Because that's how that will work.
14.
Go, Snow, go.
4.
Did I put his name out there? I did, okay.
Ooh, not so great. I don't think I have any way to... Nope. Ferengi's giving a pretty good account of himself.
2 threats, and he does unarmed attack, because that's what he was doing, so good luck, friend. This will be a better idea, he thinks to himself. Not realizing that Klingons are resistant to non-lethal attacks, because he's a smart cookie. He's going to spend to reroll that whiff, those whiffs, I should say. Three stress. Minus your resistance is 0 stress. So he kicks you in the shin,
Okay.
but you have an armor plate there, so he just kind of hurt his foot.
I kind of look at him oddly and then try and kill him. Take a threat for a 3rd die.
Oh, you're swift tasking to swing again?
Oh, that's right. That was my attack. No,
Yep.
no, I'm not swift tasking. Let him go. Sorry, I sometimes get confused with melee.
He is going to disengage away from you. Except there's a problem with disengaging. Come back here. Disengaging's an action. He needs another action to run away from you. So, and he can't move away from a melee without dealing with it. So he's going to attempt to kick you with the purpose of trying to disengage that way, because you can do that. If he has enough threat, you could try to swift task and run. Yep, that's what he's going to try to do. He's going to try to kick you.
Okay.
Buy a die.
I'll buy one too.
I can't do anything about it. Are you spending threat or momentum?
Well, I think I'll spend momentum.
Yeah. Hey. 3 hits. Go Frankie.
Wow.
The epic battle with the Frankie in the head.
Yeah, right.
Just struck me. This guy's doing pretty good considering.
Okay, it's a tie.
Damn it.
I can't remember if that's just a lock and nothing happens.
I'm going to rule it that it's usually a lock, nothing happens unless one side or the other is willing to take a complication. He's not willing to take a complication. So you can if you want.
It's going to be my turn next. Let's see if I can just...
Yeah, it goes back to you.
Stab, stabby, stab, stab.
No, please. Well, I get a threat because you're trying to kill him.
That's right. And I'll give you... I'll give you 3 threat for 4 dice.
He will spend 1, 2, 3 for 2 dice.
Oh, that's actually 3, 4,
He's so dead.
5, 6 successes.
4 hits.
2 momentum. I believe that's 7 challenge dice.
He goes down. He's totally dead. He needed 1 damage to fill up his stretch track. So,
I retrieve.
Go ahead.
Retrieve my dock tag. Ferengi showed more spirit than I expected. Good for him. And as I leave, I will look at the security officer and say, "Get that mess cleaned up."
And scene.
Yeah, that was some crappy dice rolls for me there, and some great ones for him.
And so, do I have a page for that?
Still, we go into the scene with 3 momentum, while the GM goes into it with 1 threat.
I'll use this one, I think. Oh, I should have put on the battle music there. I didn't think the battle was going to last long, so I didn't change the music. I just realized.
I was really kind of hoping he would make the persuasion roll, but
yeah, he's spec for it too, but... so will the diamond earn entry into Stovor Corps? Was that an honorable death in battle? You know, technically, yeah, he did pretty good considering he's not a warrior.
yeah, I mean, you know, Oda respects him a little now.
Oops, that doesn't help us. It's a little too dark. Let's do this one. I should put them over here.
Does he want to go to Stuff Corps, where he will battle for eternity?
Probably not. He wants to go to the Grand Treasury. Unfortunately, he's destitute because someone took his ship. Oops. There you go. How many boxes was it? Was it 3 black boxes or 2?
I believe we were in
think it was
possession of
2.
2.
Okay, so there's 2 there.
Let me double check my notes.
Because I believe there's a total of 6, but 4 of them exploded.
Tarkin was working on something elsewhere. Andrus is safely somewhere else. Captain is safely somewhere else.
2, yeah.
And Keldar. So the only person who's directly connected to you at most is Tarkin. Well, as Tarkin's opening. So Tarkin, what you learn, when you look over the files, inside of the crates are what are identified as Calquet crystals, a highly radioactive material that according to the Ferengi, when they the Ferengi didn't tell them, but the freighter captains learned later that these things have psionic potential. They can psychically influence the people around them.
Did we get? I can't remember whether we got that information, or did Torg only tell the Hod about the? We were told.
He told the whole Council of War.
Yeah.
In which case, I need to know that immediately before I open the box.
Would I have some insight that this may be those things that was in the reports?
Yep, you would have that. You'd be able to add the 2 thoughts together there.
Okay. Use my communicator to contact Torg. Tarkin to La Torg. Answer immediately.
And Torg, you just unlocked it. You're about to open, and then you get called.
Open the box. Go ahead, Tarkin.
Do not open those boxes. They contain the crystals that, as in your report, has those psionic properties.
Understood.
We should put them in some form of secure containment field, and maybe from there we can study them
already
further.
done.
Well, ensure
Because
that
it
you
was
do not.
my theory that it might have been a radioactive weapon.
Very well. We will have to study them further. Determine whether, as your report says, they have the psionic properties. But it appears that, from the information from the Ferengi freighters, is that they are these crystals. So this section 31 that you mentioned may have given us some of the correct information.
Yeah, they are reliable for that every once in a while.
Actually, you would put
To their own means, I am sure.
Yeah, which means we netted ourselves a nice little prize.
Tarkin will then communicate Hod Order. So Tarkin to Hod Order. We have some valuable information for you.
Report.
I've determined from the logs of the Ferengi freighter that the black boxes contain the crystals that La Torg had mentioned in his report.
These psionic entities?
Yes, it appears so, but we may have to study them further in terms of their effects on our crew. I've asked La Torg to maintain the secure containment until we do so.
What are the risks in keeping these things on board and studying them? If it was one of these that somehow influenced someone or several people to bring down Bamoth Station, I dislike the thought of something being on board that can paw through my mind.
These black properties must have some form of containment, as it doesn't appear we've been affected so far, but perhaps they may continue to do so. I would ask that we keep them for study.
Very well. But beyond the containment of their black boxes and various scientific and security fields, I want them studied in an area of the ship that can be explosively decompressed in an emergency situation, or that can be fitted with security devices that will disintegrate anything within the chamber if necessary. I consider these to be extraordinarily hazardous until we know more.
As you
Also,
command.
if there are any fields or materials that we can use to dampen psychic activities, install them as well.
Very well. I'll contact SupQuit'aH. Perhaps we may engineer something that will ensure that this is protected, and our crew are protected from it.
See to it.
Tarkin then contacts Kelda. Kelda, are you there?
Yes, Tarkin, I am here.
We have these. We have determined that the black boxes contain those psionic entities, the crystals that Nartok had mentioned. Hododa wished to ensure that our crew are protected. We may have to devise some form of containment for them. We'll need your assistance.
I'm almost finished with the repairs. I will head that way as soon as I can.
Very well. Tarkin out.
And I'll note, Torg, as you're waiting for Tarkin, you notice that the boxes, even though unlocked and in their energy field, you see a red crystalline growth rapidly seeping out of the seams and enveloping the boxes.
Very
Well,
curious.
That's not good.
So does Torg see that? I guess I'm still making my way to where Torg is.
It will take you some time to get to him, but what are you... And Keldar, it'll take you some time to get to the location.
Insist that a level 10 biofield be placed around the entity in the box that has been cracked open.
Okay, give me a control...
Level 10 security field. Something like that.
Control security...
Whatever's within my power to do.
Control security opposed by structure security of the... not opposed by, but assisted by structure security of the ship. As it seems like the crystals are... You're trying to get the field in place in such a way that it should keep the crystals from progressing any further.
I'm gonna buy 1 dice
With momentum or threat?
with momentum.
Okay. I'll spend 1 threat to buy a die. I count on your end 1, 2 hits. On their end, 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Plus the ship. The ship might pull us out of this yet.
It's a good ship.
No. So 1, 2, 3 versus 4 hits. I don't believe you have a way to re-roll that, unless you have a value that can be re-rolled at 20.
I will not be defeated.
Yeah. As you're basically battling these things to keep them from escaping from their containment.
And at the end of this, that would probably be a milestone.
Okay. Just make sure to record that.
So can I reroll 2 die? I guess.
Well, if you reroll 1 die, you can reroll that 20. If you reroll a second die, you'd have to reroll one of the dice you already rolled that got a success.
Got it. So I'll just reroll the 1. Doesn't do much.
Nope. So I only beat you by 1, so I only get 1 threat. As you're instilling the field, the crystals seem to grow in relation to the energy field, and it's like they're draining the energy away, and the energy pops.
That is not good.
And I'll note that the ship has a minor alert as you have lost a certain number of power. You've lost 7 power.
Contact the captain.
A certain number? Jesus.
That's a lot.
Good thing we're plugged into the station. Oda here.
Captain, I believe it would be advantageous of us to jettison one of the containers.
What is happening?
As the
It
lights
is
flicker and
growing.
dim.
What did you
And
say?
draining our power. The entity is growing.
Destroy them immediately.
It's feeding off our power. I don't know enough about it to destroy it.
Use your disruptor. Oda to bridge. Lock down the lab where La Torg is.
Okay, so we're in combat rounds. So they basically went first with their breakout. So their turn, they've used up one of their turns. They still have at least one more. So who's going next? Is it Oda?
I guess.
Or Torg?
Because we only opened 1 crate, so
They seem when one opened, the other one seemed to start seeping out of its container. Like it started it started like leaking through the cracks and started enveloping them. So they were they're already freeing themselves even in containment, as if in response to the power of the force field that was around them. Be glad you didn't open it, because then you would have had a crystal growing on you instead.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, these things are scary.
They're almost like fucking Borg nanoprobes.
Almost. So, Torg, you want to take the first action, or do you want to let Oda try to lock the lab down, or?
I'll take a shot at them.
So you take out your disruptor.
I expect this to go badly.
I'm gonna buy 2
Yeah,
dice.
these things are awful.
Have you encountered them before?
Spending 1 threat for an extra die.
Me, neither as a player or a character, no, but this was an entire fleet arc thing and that involved every ship in the 10th Fleet.
You guys get to participate in the past. Hooray!
Against the Calcit crystals?
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yep. Yeah, you're looking at control security difficulty 2 because you're in the same. You're at close range. So, but you're not in melee because you're not You're not that close to them. You're just in the same room as they are.
No, I do not want them to get that close.
Yeah, it's like I'm just gonna step a little back.
Just buy 1 die then, since it's a diff 2.
And you have a focus on this, so you should be able to nail it. Ooh, that complication's not.
Yeah.
But you hit. I'll just take the 2 threat. I'm fine with that. Because I don't think you have a reroll for your security.
Nope.
Okay, roll your damage for your disruptor. Which I believe 5. You have to roll 8 challenge dice.
8d6. Not bad.
It's a lot of 3s and 4s if you want to re-roll that.
Yeah, I'll re-roll whatever. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 of those.
Okay.
5 of them.
1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Yep. Because all the other ones are hits. It's the 3s and 4s that are useless to you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stress.
Towards the crystal.
Yep.
Did you pay him for lethal?
Oh, actually, better music. Oh, that's the wrong one. Is this one? No. Yeah, it's
Would it be lethal or would it be survival?
No, if you're firing lethal, you have to give the GM a threat.
Yep.
Fine, I'll give them whatever threat to just kill these things.
You take out your disruptor, in true Klingon fashion, you fire your disruptor at them with everything you have, and it detonates. And so does the crystal next to it. The room is filled with fire and plasma.
Is there any way to erect a force field between me and the explosion and my security team? I mean, I know there's no way to stop the kinetic damage, but I really don't need to be burned to a crisp.
I am going to have to say no to that.
Fuck.
Threat says no.
You could, in the midst of the explosion, spend 1 momentum and 1 threat to put up an emergency force field to seal the chamber so it doesn't cause a breach in the ship.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I want that one.
One second, I have to look up how much damage these things do. It's been a bit. Yee. Cool. Cool. Spend to reroll fails.
I will be right back, guys.
5. Sure. Five, 6, 7, 8. 8 stress. Minus. I will spend it to make it lethal. So that's 1 resistance from his armor, I believe.
Sorry for the crunching. Didn't realize my mic was live.
We just thought it was the crystals growing.
He's BRB'd, I think.
Yep. I could set up the room anyway. Oh no, I just put it there. Freaking there.
Oh, none of that looks good.
Oh my.
Oh, that's big.
A loud explosion rips into a chamber. Tarkin, as you're running toward the room, the whole ship shakes, and you can see a visible energy field that is fluctuating in front of that door, as if it just contained a rather nasty blast of energy.
Okay.
They used up one power to set up that field.
Uh-oh.
And I'll spend those 2 threat to make an existing complication that the fire is still ongoing.
Okay.
So who would like to go next?
Oda is going to direct Keldar to restore power.
Okay.
So Keldar, you get an order from the HUD to restore power. Fortunately, you're on your way to the room, so you'll have to do it from a nearby console.
Okay.
So that is a... I'll roll, if I can find my cheat sheet here. 1 second.
And try and get some momentum so he can jack it back up.
He might live if he avoids injury, because his stress track isn't filled. That was lethal, but it's if he spends 2 threat, he'll be alive. But he's in a room that's on fire, so that's a different problem entirely. Generating power is going to be daring or control plus engineering difficulty. It's going to be 3 because you're not doing it from your normal panel. You're doing it from a random control panel in one of the hallways.
Okay.
But you will get an assist from me.
Yes. I will spend 3 threat in order to buy 2 dice. So I roll 4 dice total. That's 17. And then EPS systems would apply.
Yes. That's 3 successes.
I have bold engineering, so since I have spent threat, I will re-roll that 20.
Makes sense.
Yes.
And that is an additional success. So that's
1
4
momentum.
successes.
Oh, that's a flat success right there. Sorry.
There's
So then-
2 from the captain's assist.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 3. So that's 2 momentum. You're generating 1 power so far. Wait, don't you have a special power thing for for the ship?
Yeah. So as the engineering officer,
Improve power systems. Oh, when you succeed, it's 1 for 1 instead of wait, no.
No,
2 for
when I-
1.
2 for 1, yeah.
when I reroute power, I generate a bonus momentum to be used on the task.
Oh, do you have a talent for that?
As my role as engineering officer, when I succeeded an engineering task to perform repairs or reroute power, I generate 1 bonus momentum to be used on the task.
Oh, that's a Klingon engineering thing. Neat.
And then the improved power system, the ship gains 2 power per momentum spent repeatable.
Right. So you have 1 bonus momentum just floating out there in the ether, plus 2 momentum on the table. So you
I am back. So what's going on?
So if I spend 3 momentum, that regenerates 6 power, I believe.
yes. 6 and 3 is 9 power.
So we don't want those fields falling.
So Torg, just to catch up with you there, what happened was the room exploded and was filled with plasma fire that is now burning. You took enough damage that...
Fine.
You took enough damage that you could take a lethal injury. The only way you're staying up and moving around is if you spend 2 threat to stay standing.
I'll do it.
Okay, so you might be able to do something to get yourself out of there before that fire kills you, because that is very lethal. What just happened was HUD...
Can they transport me out?
That's what they're figuring out at the moment. HUD just gave Keldar an order to get you guys power, because you guys were down to, like, very minimal power after that explosion.
Just a second, I want to look up something real quick. Just bear with. Fine, I'll use the index.
What you looking up, Captain?
Determination spend possibilities. Since I could do it to
So I believe that my success should have generated 1 power and then 2 additional power per momentum. So wouldn't I actually have 7 power generated?
We're at 9 right now, because you gained 1, right, from 2 to 3, and then you had 6 onto 3, which is 7. I can do math. You're right. Sorry, I overcalculated.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to spend my determination on...
What I was saying was, what were we at before? Were we at 2?
Yes.
Okay, and then I generated 7, so 9 was actually correct. I thought we were at 3, and then I generated 7.
If you're at 2 and you generated 7...
Total of 9.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, everybody.
So Otis is going to spend his determination on a dictate, probably.
Okay.
Ooh, unless you'll let me use strike hard, strike fast, because what I'm going to do is to spend the determination on additional task, which even in combat does not increase the difficulty of the next task, and then I'm going to direct again.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that spend.
Okay. And then I'm going to direct our transporter chief, LaCour, I think is who it is.
Yep.
To beam Torg out of that room. But I'm not going to up it to try and make her beam him directly to sickbay, but just beam him to the transporter room where she is.
Okay, so basically she's 2, brought down by 1 because she's in there. He's not on a pad, so it's up to 2. I have all this threat, so 3, 4. Control engineering, difficulty 4, assisted by sensors engineering.
Okay, this is her second activation. So I think I am going to...
It's going to use up 1 power because you're beaming, whether you succeed or fail.
I think I'm going to give her, let's do bold engineering, so she can get a reroll. formatting on stupid roll 20. Okay. Does somebody want to roll for the core? Because the captain will be rolling an assist, and I'll take the ship too.
I can roll for liqueur.
Okay.
Let me get
And
Let me fix that.
you wanted to buy one dive with threat because you gave her bold engineering?
Yep.
So 3 dice.
Just fix her token there so that I don't keep spawning her in with that stupid gear icon.
Cool.
It's like, I just want you to know she's the engineer. It's like, you already know that. I don't. Oh no. Well, that's 2 hits.
She's got bold, so she can re-roll that 0. That 20, rather.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a comp.
So you got 2 hits thus far. Here's the captain's assist. That's 3, and then what's the ship assisting with?
Sensor engineering.
It's not bad, but not good enough. Let me roll for veteran.
Okay. Nope.
Nope.
I think that's it for Oda in his directs, as Liqueur reports that she's trying to beam him out, but the fire is making it incredibly difficult to beam him out. Plus, the energy fields that are in place are also keeping the energy from flowing out, which means beaming stuff out harder.
I don't think I've got a way to leverage anything.
She can succeed at cost. The downside of that is that there's a risk that he'll take damage in the beaming. It will be an unstable beam.
Torg?
He's muted, so.
Yeah, I think he's muted himself, though.
Yeah.
Torg, you there? Are you willing to take the risk of extra damage by beaming with a succeed at cost?
As long as it doesn't kill me.
I mean, I can't guarantee that. But...
I'll take a burn versus being dead.
It's your call. We can either get you out of there with a risk
Get me the fuck out.
Okay.
Okay. Here comes the damage. Oh.
On the plus side, I think I know how the Moss Station went down.
Likely. Yeah. We've solved the mystery. Thank you for giving your life to the diver.
Torg, you get beamed out. Unfortunately, the minute he beams onto the pad, he conks out.
That's fine. At least I'm alive.
You are dying, however. If someone doesn't get you on your feet before the end of the scene. But he's not in the room being burned alive by plasma fire, so, you know. Mixed blessings.
That's a positive.
So, you guys now still have the problem of a burning plasma fire inside of your ship. Tarkin wants to go?
Could do like to to evacuate, or what is it? Blast it out of the ship. Because there's a containment field, so hopefully we can open a hatch or something.
It would be daring plus engineering difficulty of, we'll call it 3, assisted by structure engineering to try to put in the plasma fire containment systems, which now that there's no person in there, you can actually like starve it of air and stuff. You can actually evacuate the environment and start just blasting it with fire retardant.
Highly toxic Klingon fire retardant. Asbestos.
I can make the that roll. Daring.
Oh, you haven't had your turn, have you? Yeah.
Nope.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, maybe you should. Yeah.
Okay.
You're not gonna lock me in, Zoe.
Okay. So, let's see, difficulty 3. I will buy 2 extra dice for 3 threat.
For 3 threat, you say? Well, I'm going to up the difficulty 4 and 5.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Use your determination. You haven't used that yet, have you?
That's true. I have not used my determination. Okay, let's see. So the house dictates are restore honor to the house, repay every friend who serves the house, bound by honor, not tradition. Alright. I don't think any of the dictates apply.
To what value are you thinking?
Could spend maybe the wind does not respect a fool.
You'll have to sell me a little on that. I don't follow how it applies.
So, do you remember the story Kalis told in Deep Space Nine? Or,
Yep.
No, that was TNG. The man standing outside of the city, and Kalis told him to come in.
And then he stood outside and he said, I'll brave the wind. And it's like, okay. He went inside. Guy got blown away. It's like, yeah, wind doesn't respect a fool, so... But how does that apply here is my question. I'm familiar with the story, but...
I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe brute strength is not the most important asset in a fight, except it's not really a fight. Alright, so I can't really spend determination on a value.
Have you used up all your value slots?
Yes, I have.
Does any dictate really apply here? Not really.
Okay.
What was that one you just read off? Something about a fight?
Maybe
brute-
challenge it.
Brute strength is not the most important asset in a fight.
And the other one he said was, wind does not respect a fool.
Right, so you're fighting for the ship. It's a very engineer's kind of fight.
I would take
What do you
that.
think? Okay. So spend that for the perfect... What is it called?
Opportunity.
So it's 2 automatic successes, is that correct?
Yep. That does mean you spent 1 extra threat, though, because your first die is spent doing that. I can't do anything with 1 threat, but just changes how much I have. To answer your question, Spillsbury, mission directive isn't a thing in Klingon games. They have dictates that are in place, and those are the ones they adhere to.
So then I'm rolling 3 dice?
Yes. So you're basically shooting effectively for 3 hits.
And then... I don't suppose EPS systems or shields would apply, maybe?
It'd have to be something like environmental controls or something in that variety. I would take EPS at a complication, so you'd increase your complication by 1, so it'd be 19 to 20 instead of just 20.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Okay. Because it's close enough, but not exactly what I'm looking for.
Okay, I'll re-roll at 20 with old engineering.
Yep.
Okay. So that's 3 successes. 5 total.
No help, but no hurt from the ship.
And rapidly the fire is put out. All of the room is badly scarred and burned from the fire, as almost everything within it was demolished. Thankfully, though, you don't take any breaches because the fire is contained to one room. So that's a problem for the engineering staff aboard ship because they now have to fix that on top of everything else. But labs are meant to have explosions happen in them. That happens on Klingon ships sometimes.
Science is not our strong point.
Yeah. So that leaves the task of someone saving Torg before the end of the scene. Otherwise, he's going to die.
I would say the transporter operator probably called medical.
Doesn't Amdris have some medical skills? Maybe he could
Yep.
help.
Yeah, I was just wondering, since I'm not in this particular area, how could I affect any of this? Could I like?
Well, since we haven't established where in this scene,
To the transport pad.
that's what I'm thinking. Like, since we haven't established where you are in the scene, it could be presumed that you're somewhere nearby and in a useful way. So you can get to him and then try to treat him if you want.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to try to do that.
Okay, so if you want to kill him, you need oh wait, you're trying to save him. Sorry. So this roll, you're gonna need to give me a threat, unfortunately, to get yourself a med kit because you're not a doctor. You don't normally walk around with a med kit.
Okay.
So this difficulty this is normally a daring medicine roll. Medicine. Oh, you know what I mean. Medicine difficulty would be 2, but I have 2 threats, so.
So would his cybernetic regeneration, would that affect anything?
I don't believe you have a talent that gives you that power.
Well, I have the cybernetics
Focus.
focus.
Yeah, if you want the powers of some of the Borg stuff that you can get from being a liberated Borg, that actually is a talent you'd have to swap in. Because there's stuff that does regeneration and stuff like that.
Ooh. I might swap out a couple of things.
I'll actually increase the complication to 2 due to his trait that he's liberated Borg, because you're trying to not let the Borg nanites overcome the rest of his body while he's injured.
Okay.
So at this point, you do have a medicine already figured out in daring. Do you wish to dedicate one of your focuses to this role, because of this role?
Well, I'll use the determination. Is the determination only on the roll, or is it on a focus? Because I don't have any focuses right now, other than navigation.
You could spend toward a value if it's applicable. Focus basically is something that is on every roll after that. That could apply. So in a medical sense, so you could have a first aid focus or combat medic focus.
Okay.
But that would fill one of your focus slots.
You get focuses total and 4 values total. So if you're wanting to spend your determination, you might want to create a value that fit. But the focus, yeah.
Actually, that's right. Music coming.
Yeah, I'll do a focus of then, I guess, combat medic.
That's a good one.
Okay.
And do you want to spend into your value as well? Since this is probably one of the last rolls of the night, I will advise.
Okay. You said spend into your values, meaning because I have the 1 value.
Yep, you can either if you think that 1 value would apply to this roll, then you could try to sell that to me. But if you think you need a new one, which I think yours was, what was it? Today is a good day to fly. I don't think that value would apply. You'd have to create another value to use for a medical roll. or or a saving someone's life roll.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see. I don't. Sorry. You said I could create another value.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
How about I will not let my friends die?
Let's go with live. Live. Damn it.
Yeah, that works too.
Because that's what you're shouting as you're repairing him.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take that.
Damn it, leave!
Okay.
So,
there.
do you want to just roll 2 dice, or do you want to spend threat for an additional die? You only need to get 1 hit at this point.
Oh, I'm only need to get 1 hit now.
Yeah, because you spent toward your you spent your determination for a free critical hit.
Okay. I will spend 1 threat to get 1 additional die.
Just so you know, for rules,
okay, yeah.
it'd be 2 threat because you have that 1 die, but still.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'll spend the requisite amount of threat to get another die.
I'll up your comp range by 1 because I don't want to pick you guys too much.
There you go. See, always throw math at the GM.
And then the focus combat medic, does that help?
So that means when you set the focus for discipline and task roller, you put it to your medicine score.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so number of dice 3.
Yep.
And then attribute plus discipline. So you said it was daring?
Yep.
Daring plus medicine, so 11 plus 4 is 15. And then discipline focus is the combat medic, which is the medicine, so that's 4.
Yep.
Okay, so I will submit. And then complication number you said is?
Instead of 20, it's down, it's not 19, but it's 18.
18, okay. So down to 18 and then submit. Oh my gosh.
You hit it. Just barely.
Hey, I'll take whatever, as
Good
long
thing
as
you
I
s-
live.
Good thing you spent the determination.
Yeah.
And in those final moments, you're able to retreat just enough of the plasma burns without accidentally incurring the wrath of his nanites. And Torg breathes at pain. He'll need a visit to the surgeon's bay, but for now, he's not going to die on you.
Good. I slept Torg delicately because I know he's just recovering on the side and says, "You'll live another day to fight for House SupQit'aH."
I just grin. I beat that bastard.
And new scene.
And solve the mystery.
As we cut lastly to the war room. Asasir asks for the HUD to meet with her there.
The HUD will.
Now's her chance to assassinate you. Haha. No.
Right. My luck about got killed by a Ferengi today. But... Yes, Lord Singer, what have you found out?
Well, Joe, it would seem, according to the communications I was able to discern through, it would seem that the best place to strike... I've been able to ferret out 3 different ways we could do this. One, there is a major subspace beacon at the Yachtbot shipyards that could be, with a strike force, could be sabotaged in such a way as to cause interference on their end. So rather than having to take on their entire squadron, we could, in theory, have someone sabotage their systems to jam them out, which will buy us not a ton of time, but enough time to communicate out. Secondly, we do have that Ferengi Marauder. My understanding is such things are not looked too strongly upon by KDF if one is willing to warp fast enough and get it out of the system. And it could pass into Federation space. The last would be to commission some mission of a build project by our engineering staff to build a radio either in the Zeni system or the Mingi system to be powerful enough to blast through. Aside from the Bemoth raid, of course. The Bemoth plan, now that I've looked into it more, Bemoth is tightly controlled by the Batanan, and they are being thorough in their purges of anyone loyal to SupQuit'aH. According to them, it was, in their propaganda, it was SupQuit'aH that failed to protect them from the terrorist Irene Adler.
It seems to me that Ba'anan has been the voice of our enemies. Perhaps the other houses are merely following them because of their reputation of holders of tradition and knowledge. Still, well done.
The other thing, Jo, is that at the moment, it would seem that our enemies are reporting to somebody else. I try to look into it, but they seem to think they have support from someone powerful. But I hate to be the bearer of ignorance, but they can't be talking about anyone on the High Council. No one on the High Council is willing to anger Martok over betraying you. That makes no sense. It could be the Federation, but the Federation doesn't do something as much as Ba'anan wants us to believe otherwise. That doesn't seem something Starfleet would do. Section 31, maybe. But Starfleet doesn't do attacks on civilian populaces. It's not their way. However, there may be a new power in the Shackleton Expanse that there may be answering to. The problem is I don't know anything about that region of space. My lore goes to the Klingon borders and at most back to the Orion clans back home. She shrugs. No one in the Syndicate's doing this. Syndicate would be poisoning your drink or setting a bomb on the ship, that sort of thing. Nothing to this scale. Someone has a deep military pocket and a deep understanding of how the Bemoth sector works. And I frankly think that this isn't just about us. There's something else, some larger war that we're being caught up in. I just don't know who it is that they're fighting for. This is admittedly some level of speculation, but history is a great teacher. And Bemoth has many times as a frontier sector been the battleground for the ambitious, Klingon or not.
Is there a great house without a council seat who could potentially be in a position to back this overthrow as a means of weakening and gaining such a seat or even overthrowing Martok?
Normally my first guess would be Duras, but they're without leadership and scattered. The remnants of what was House Gowron. She pauses as it hurts her to say the name. The remnants of House Gowron may hold a grudge against Martok, but they are still a great house, is my understanding of court politic. There is a friend of mine in a minor house who was a champion of, well, I assume she still is, a champion of anti-corruption in the Empire. House Telpak is investigating on their own at into the Bemoth matter. They seem to suspect us, but I think if I reach out to her, I may be able to get her to look into things for us with the full force of her house. But that does mean that we're putting our fate into the hands of someone outside of the Bemoth sector. Or we possibly will.
If we manage to subvert this subspace array at Yavbot long enough to get our message out, could we simultaneously attempt to place some sort of device or encoding that would allow us to eavesdrop on our enemies' communications traffic and perhaps give us better clues as to whom or where they are communicating, and maybe help us uncover this mysterious other power?
That is beyond my skill, but to know technically if it's possible, but it is a wise tactic to listen to the words of your enemies without them knowing.
Let us consult the experts then. Oda to Keldar and Tarkin. Report to the briefing room.
As you command. Tarkin makes his way.
Yeah, I'll get there as soon as I can.
I will outline the Lore Singer's report, particularly about the subspace beacon at Yavbot. My question for the two of you is, assuming that we are able to subvert this subspace beacon long enough to get our message out, while we have it in our brief period of control, would it be possible to either implant a device or encoding that would allow us to listen into our enemies' communications and perhaps use them to triangulate with whom they may be communicating?
Yes, that seems doable. Plant some sort of listening device.
It's not the Klingon way, but I have known House Raza to be able to devise such things.
In war, intelligence is accurate intelligence on the movements and plans of the enemy is one of the most important artifacts. Whether that is accomplished through armored scouts or talented communications officers eavesdropping is of no account. The gathering of the intelligence is what is the important thing, and its accuracy.
I know of sacrifices that must be made in war. I just did not expect it from House SupQit'aH.
I do not see this as dishonorable. Remember the dictate, be bound by honor, not tradition. Many a house has gone down in flames because they were too inflexible, because things had never been done this way. But you may rest assured that leading an assault on a beacon orbiting one of the enemy's largest shipyards and most well-defended systems, in order to broadcast our message out and to help gather our forces, and leaving behind something that will gather us intelligence on our enemy. This is not merely honorable, but this is a raid that will live in song and story.
Very well. It will be done, Hod.
I look around and nod. Well then, once we have made the appropriate repairs, I believe we now know what our next action will be. Although perhaps we might send the Marauder out as well.
Unfortunately, Joe, we only have enough crew currently to field one ship at a time. We'd either be able to fly the Duktanaka or the Marauder. The Ferengi, are loyal to Latinum, and I don't know if we'd wish to entrust them with the task without having one of our own aboard to ensure their loyalty by the point of steel.
Understood.
How much platinum did we recover from the freighter?
And the Ferengi Marauder.
That would be enough to hire the lot of them and pay for a new diamond to take over and pay his people. We could actually afford to pay them now that you say that, Keldar.
I will consider on this. However, that much latinum in our war chest may come in handy in a different way later on. After all, it appears that Gamola is relying on mercenaries.
Gamola does enjoy the company of Nausicaans.
What next? And we encounter Raza. Of what we know of these crystals, I ask that I get the opportunity to figure out whether she is under the influence of these. Her treachery is unbecoming.
Agreed. And also I'm becoming more suspicious of Ba'anan, who seems to be leading Gamola and Rasa after them. But you also bring out another point. This store of latinum may be necessary for the simple purchase of supplies and materials, both to keep the stations running and repair our vessels, and potentially build new ones. It is a resource honorably gained in battle that we must be careful not to squander.
Do we have any allies on Kronos?
Supposedly, sorry, go ahead, Joe.
According to Torg, Martok supports us, although apparently not openly. But for some reason, Martok apparently sent Torg to help support us. Why exactly Martok thought we might need such support remains unknown. But, as the House of the Chancellor, I do not believe that we are in a position yet to call upon the Chancellor for arbitration. We will need to improve our position. But it may well be that if we could establish communications with House Martok, some good might come of it. Why do you ask? Was that Keldar or Tarkin?
That was Keldar.
Keldar.
I was thinking about recruiting more warriors to crew more ships.
And that, of course, is what our assault on the subspace communications array is also meant to accomplish. Now that Amdris has found a rendezvous point within the Expanse, if we can break through their communications jamming and get the message out, hopefully warriors will come to us, enough at least to strengthen us enough to secure more leverage and therefore more followers. But yes, perhaps we should add Kronos to the list of recipients for our message burst. We will have to be careful in its composition. Is there anything else?
No, Hod. That is all.
Not for me.
Very well. Continue getting the ship repairs. Tarkin, determine what kind of equipment you might need to further study these crystals. That would, I would not begrudge some of the latinum for whatever kind of scientific equipment you might need to help us on that quest. I have a feeling that we have not seen the last of these entities.
Very well. I will study what information we have and reach out to my sources in the Empire for any further information.
Excellent. Lord Singer, you and I need to begin to plan the next verse of the lore song and our message to be transmitted from your Vat. I will turn my thoughts to exactly how we are going to take over that relay.
Yes, yeah. Hud. She shakes her head like she's caught between worlds there for a half second.
Huh.
And then we cut, finally, not to the transporter room, although that is a relevant place as well. I actually wanted to cut somewhere else. Medbay, sorry. Dork. Empress. So, Empress, you're able to bring La Torg to the med bay. You see the commander, the XO of the ship, the first officer, still being laid out.
Okay.
We do have a doctor now.
That'd be Kanara.
This will be her second activation if she's going to roll.
Kanara. So, equivalent of sergeant. So, La, I am informed that there is... significant burns. That is... good of you to recover him, So.
Yes, it seems I caught him just right at the correct time. It was a little worse for wear. Seems he's been at least he's still living and breathing. Do we know the extent of, or are you able to fully examine him to see the extent of the damage?
Burns on most of his body. It's almost like he was standing in a room full of plasma fire. Various heat damage internally. Thankfully, the armor helped somewhat with that. And the implants have not lost containment, so there's that. With your permission, La and So, I would like to attempt a comprehensive regeneration of the skin, which won't involve surgery, but will involve a fair amount of pain.
Amdris looks towards Torg. Out of character, is Torg like? Is he conscious? Is he just like breathing? Like, can he consent to that sort of thing, or is it?
Yeah, he's awake. He could be awake right now.
Okay. So I look towards Torg and say, like, he's been through a lot of pain already. I'm sure a little bit more. I'm sure he's up for a little bit more, but let's see what he has to say.
All Torque has to say is, ouch.
Shall I proceed then, So, since it seems the law is in a fair amount of pain?
Yes, Boo. Proceed.
And she has to perform...
Oh, he called her Boo.
Control medicine difficulty 2. So you could be the lead, or you could be assisting Boo Kanara in the role.
I guess I'll lead just because I have a 12 control and 4 medicine, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
And the ship helps with computer plus medicine, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, if somebody wants to grab Chimera, I'll take the ship.
Okay, so with the assist, I probably don't need to buy any dice.
Be aware that the ship is 50-50. It's got a grand total of 10 for its assist die.
Okay.
I'll roll for Canera.
So I'll submit two die, and then attribute plus discipline 16. Discipline for focus, combat medic, so 4. And then complication, you said diff 2, so it would be 18.
Nope, comp's 20.
Oh, it's 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
Diff's just how many successes you're aiming for.
Oh, okay, but difficult to do. Okay. Oh, there we go.
Here's the ship.
I gained 1 momentum. And with, although Kanara suggests what to do, you are spending a lot of time correcting her as you find out that you know a fair amount of combat medicine than the poor sergeant, the poor Boo knows. She's just doing what she can. She's usually used to assisting other people in doing medical stuff, like the ship surgeon. She, by virtue of being the highest ranked medical officer, or medical personnel, is the surgeon. That doesn't mean she knows how to do surgery. She just knows how to look it up on the computer how to do surgery, and she knows what tools are what. She's still pretty good at dice. I mean, she's like what, medical 4? I want to say, yeah, medical 4. Like she's not terrible. She's actually pretty good considering she's just a sergeant.
Yeah.
I believe that's everything. So La Torque should be able to be risen for duty by tomorrow.
Very good. And he slaps Torg on the side, knowing that the regeneration should have at least protect him from additional pain.
Yeah.
And says, "You will be fit for duty soon, La Torg." Kapla. And I don't have anything more else.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so Amdris then leaves and goes towards whatever duty he has next.
All right. Kanara looks at Tord, nods, and to leave him in the main bed for the time being. He moves to enter in a report of how Torg's been recovered. Torg, is there anything from you before we fade away?
At the moment, for me, no. I'm pretty much just in and out of consciousness.
Gotcha.
Hey, Daddy.
All right.
I mean, I just faced a giant fireball of death and survived.
Yeah.
Hey, Daddy.
Well, with that,
I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, if that doesn't show loyalty, I don't know what will.
but with that, as our good commander recovers and the crew has settled on its direction and figured out what they can, we shall see what their next tale will entail. Until next time, though, thank you all for watching with us, and I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. We will see you all next time. Have a good one.